Yeah, the Brady Bunch got smaller for this week. The windows are there, they're smaller. Or I guess that makes me and AJ bigger, at least for the time being. Uh, Chris should be along hopefully soon.
I would say within the first hour.
Yeah.
I would hope.
And as Owen has just put in the chat, Owen is taking a leave of absence for personal reasons and will be back to be confirmed. Enjoy the shows. Thank you for the kind words, Owen. I am shitting myself. I don't know why I had to do this when we had the bloody kerfuffle of having to look at a Twitter feed to work out what was going on with the Golden Globes.
I was gonna say it's just like Golden Globes tonight. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
So yeah, welcome everybody. Cold open. Hello, I am Ashley. I'm hosting this shindig now, for the time being. Joining me, as always, is AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always the way. That will never change. That will never change. So yeah, this is the Hangout stuff. A lot of the stuff, apart from obviously your questions, if you are out there, a lot of the stuff we'll be talking about is festival related and all the shenanigans that have gone down and I guess technically are still going down. So if anything happens of note in the next 2 hours, because Comic-Con's running 8 hours ahead of me, so it's like it's only 3 in the afternoon. I can't even remember what the schedule is. Everything that happened last night while I was watching the wrestling was just like, that was annoying. This is all the important stuff. And I'm having to watch this wrestling instead. I mean, I didn't have to, but it was a good show, but whatever. Quickly go through some of the comments that we've already got, so we don't get too logged behind. Spencer leading us off with, thank you, AJ, for the recommendation of Wolf Creek. I loved it. I also watched the original My Bloody Valentine from 81 and the 2009... I don't want to say reboot because a lot of that publicity for that over here was 3D.
Yeah.
We're taking advantage of 3D. I actually enjoyed the remake more. Loved your verses on it.
Nice.
I'm putting this here because I'm moving your comments around, Spencer, because it sort of seems a fitting. The first question: remakes of movies that are better than the original. I guess because of enjoying the My Bloody Valentine one more. Oof.
It's an interesting time to ask that because where I was saying before that September and October will both have week-long verses devoted to remakes, originals and their remakes.
Mm-hmm.
To get a head start, I've actually been shooting those this week, so I'm like completely in the mindset of originals and
That's fitting. I don't know. I'm tempted to say some of the live action remakes, I guess, of like the older material. I think that Branagh's, it might be because I'm biased because it's Branagh, but I think Branagh's Cinderella has a somewhat more modernish approach and like more to this day than obviously the original one from 50. But at the same time, I don't think anybody's made a good Snow White yet. We've had there's what, 2 in production at the minute? I think.
So there was the one with the Peter Dinklage controversy, and was there another one?
There was the Disney one with Gal Gadot.
Oh shit, that's right. Is
Or
that
was
not
that the Peter Dinklage one? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
It's
Oh
sort
yeah,
of
'cause this is,
it's sort of like how we had it, what, 6 years ago when we had Jungle Book and Jungle Book, which became Mowgli, and like you get confused as to which is which. I guess the same is happening now because we also have Disney's Pinocchio and Del Toro's Pinocchio.
But
Can you stop making film? It's easy for like the horror film with Winnie the Pooh. Nobody does that.
let us let us also not forget, weren't Snow White and the Huntsman and Mirror Mirror the same year?
That's the Snow White ones I was thinking about. Yeah, that 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 cluster. Um,
I think I need to revisit Branagh Cinderella because I thought it was just as boring as all the other Cinderellas. Is weirdly enough, I feel like the only Cinderella movie I really like is the Hilary Duff one, which is weird. But the more like every single time news breaks of a new Disney live action remake, lately I see more and more praise for Branagh Cinderella. Like it's really found a following since it came out. Because I feel like it didn't come out to much fanfare, but it's really starting to grow a reputation for being like one of the best of the. Not that that bar is very high, but it's always like Branagh Cinderella and Fabre's The Jungle Book are listed as the only ones that are worthwhile, pretty much. Though Richie's Aladdin seems to kind of be not as sneered at as it once was either. Though it's only been like 3 years.
then again, like, have we got the? I'm trying to think. Was there an original sort of like Alibaba or the 40 Thieves from like the 40s and 50s? Because in which case, Disney's
That,
animated one was better than the other ones.
that sounds right.
Yeah. Oh, Badoop. A wild Pikachu comes out of nowhere. I only say that because it's a giant yellow box. Sorry, Chris.
Hey.
It was like which
You're
yellow. I wanted to be stereotypical and like yellow Pokemon. Don't say Pikachu. Don't say Pikachu. And I was just like, nah. Son of a bitch. I could have said Electabuzz. It would have been better. So to the other comments and everything from Spencer. Next up for me is Carrie versus Firestarter. I've never seen Firestarter and I avoided the remake. How could you avoid the remake? It like got shoved on Peacock like day one, and they really pushed the hell out of that for whatever reason.
what was the initial remake question?
Remakes that are better than the original.
I know this is kind of I did a whole video on it already, but well, halfway. But as controversial as this might be, one that I will stand by is how much The Departed elaborated on the characters from Infernal Affairs.
No, that's true.
Because I know there's still people that will are really devoted and say that Infernal Affairs will always be better, but it's like I love that The Departed is an hour long, almost an hour longer than Infernal Affairs, but it's actually for a reason because Monahan puts so much into the characters. Like it's almost as much about the individual characters as it is the plot.
Yeah, I
To
mean
where
that's probably the
when
Scorsese touch to it, right?
yeah, and it's like when you
Taking the original plot, but sort of, I guess, adapting it. That's where I prefer sort of like American slash Western remakes of foreign films. If they sort of like actually add more to it, rather than just they don't Gus Van Sant Psycho it and make it sort of like for like replacement, but enough that it's just like if you could be bothered to just watch it with the subtitles, you'd probably enjoy it just as much, sort of thing. Um, and I think The Departed gets around that because obviously Departed is only intended to be a one film deal. Obviously, the original one, it does turn into a trilogy because characters that in the main thing don't die as they do
yeah,
in
because
the
Yeah, 'cause that's the thing also, because going on, what I was saying was, when you've seen The Departed about 150 times, like I have, when you go back to Infernal Affairs feels like a skeleton
Hmm.
without like that extra hour. Like it's basically just the plot.
Yeah. So, cold question for you then, Chris. Any remakes that you think that are better than the originals?
True Grit. I'm sorry, I know older people might disagree, but I got to go with True Grit.
Yep.
But
You just
I love the remake of True Grit. I watch it at least once a year.
The annual tradition.
No special time, just once a year.
Yeah. Just
I
where it
love
fits.
that.
I should pick a day though and declare it True Grit Day. Walk around talking like I'm hammered all the time, wear an eye patch and a cowboy hat. Let's make it. Let's go for November. No, that's Veterans Day. Let's go. What's a month with very little holidays?
I was gonna
January
say,
25th. January
with
25th is True Grit Day.
because I was gonna say, why don't you just use True Grit's release date? But True Grit's release date was Christmas.
There, see, you can't do it. You can't do it. Rooster Cogburn can't share a day with Jesus. It can't happen.
I'm trying to remember if January 25th is at least in Scotland. I think it's Burns Night, so it's like haggis and alcohol. Which, considering Rooster Cogburn, that sounds like a good diet. So that might be
Yeah.
a fitting day.
Let's go with it. January 25th is True Grit Day. If we have a video on that day, everybody better wear a damn eye patch. That's all I gotta say.
We've also got Brian in the chat, Josephine, and Cassie. Hello to you guys. We'll get to your comments through the list as we go. I'm also watching after watching the first verses. AJ, did you manage to get a physical copy of Oz Great and Powerful? My guess is probably. Yeah, it is. To the shelf.
Probably within arm's reach.
Yep, here it is.
It exists.
Oh man, I bet that movie is beautiful on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I actually got the Blu-ray from the library once to check it out, and it does look really good. I still stand by this movie. It's been almost 10 years, and I still stand by that. I feel like this is actually a great movie, to be honest.
Oh man, you are swimming upstream on that one, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Just switching.
Oh, there we go.
Switching regions because it was being a bit weird.
What was that?
I said I don't have an issue with it. I think it's fine. So it's not me that you got to contend to make your case to.
I think it's I am not a I don't hate it. I don't love it like Wizard of Oz and whatever. But I don't think it's like something that shouldn't exist, because obviously if it's mainly about sort of what builds up to it, prequel wise.
It's worth it. It's worth the entire movie's existence alone, of the shot where he gets to Oz and the aspect ratio expands. That's still just, I just love that so much.
Wes
still.
Anderson's it. Change the aspect ratio when you don't notice. Have you guys seen Double Indemnity or Laura from 1944? I love those films. Certainly for me, Double Indemnity, yes. Laura, no. But it's on the bucket of lists. Oh god, is AJ grabbing the other two?
He's probably got them.
Well, I'm just showing off. I have a really nice Double Indemnity DVD.
Ah.
Where it's kind of in the what ones are like this? I think My Deer Hunter is like this, and a few others. The thing that pisses me off is I can't remember what the problem was, or why I had the chance to see Double Indemnity in a theater, and for some reason I missed it, and I can't remember why, and I've always really hated that. I've been meaning Laura's like up there somewhere. Uh, I haven't. These are ones that I've like. I have such a long. I need to rewatch this list,
Yeah.
and I'm almost thinking we could potentially have a versus on our hands. Come to think of it, with these two being brought up. But
Spencer, what
I
have you
think
done?
September.
Spencer, what have you done?
Yeah, because I think I don't think I have any room left in September.
Yeah.
So
We'll save that for January 25th.
I think that week you came up and stayed with me, you knocked out a lot of stuff on the rewatch list.
yep. While I was up there.
Yeah.
Probably there's at least one or two things we watched that are probably future movie club stuff. I know one in particular comes to mind. one that probably would have been suited last month, but we missed the boat.
I'm just noticing AJ mentioning back in the day we had to make do with what we had for visuals for verses. I still remember that time when we got DMCA'd for having a DVD case in the picture for one of your verses, I'm pretty sure.
Beverly Hills Cop did that.
Yeah.
Paramount was not happy
Thanks,
that we
Paramount.
were talking about Beverly Hills Cop, apparently, even though I praised it. I praised it as the best comedy of 1984 over Ghostbusters. Fuck you.
They didn't want the bubbles.
That, and you've been spending weeks putting over Beavis and Butthead and Top Gun Maverick, which are Paramount movies.
Yes, and by the way, I didn't know this. Did you see that Beavis and Butthead is coming back for another season on August 4th through Paramount Plus?
I saw something about it.
I don't know how to explain how excited I am about that.
All I keep seeing for now when I get adverts on YouTube is this Pam thing that's on Paramount Plus with Zellweger.
Oh, the Pam Dauber story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's based on a true crime case that I heard about. It's a really messed up case.
Advice you'd give to the next Superman director whenever it comes. Don't make an origin film.
Don't make an origin film, and don't be afraid for it to have some color and be a little happier. I mean, if you go through the comics, Superman's comics are always bright and colorful. So put some color in it. It's fine if you put color in it.
Before Snyder's fan base gets really mad about you talking about the color, it's worth noting you and I have praised Man of Steel multiple times. Just to put that out there.
I'm not saying don't do what Man of Steel did, because what Man of Steel did is fine for its story, but I'm saying go another direction.
Yeah.
That's like I was noticing when I was rewatching Mask of the Phantasm, like just now, like before we started, where it's like I love that this will probably come up tomorrow too, but obviously I love the Batman and Joker and how but it you do enough dark and gloomy stuff. It's really fun to watch stuff like Mask of the Phantasm that feels really lively in this sort of way. I'm not sure how to describe it yet. Hopefully I'll have that figured out by tomorrow, how to describe it. But
my other piece of advice is more for studios. Make the Kingdom Come movie and cast John Hamm as older Clark Kent. You cowards.
That seems fair. That seems a fair request. Now we get a bunch of Josephine stuff. Hello, Popcast team. It's super hot in New York. Yes, I agree. Well, not just. It's pretty warm over here, or maybe it's just because I don't have much ventilation in the room that I have. That it's hot in here. Hence, no earphones. I don't know why I did that to express earphones. Saw Marcel the Shell with my mom yesterday. My mom and I thought it was adorable and creative. Favorite stop motion animated film?
I have to go Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a predictable answer, but I have to go with it.
I gotta bring up a Google list here real quick.
Because, yeah.
Oh man,
Technically-
after Nightmare Before Christmas, I might have to go with Coraline.
Yeah, technically I was gonna say like, well, there's only been one Wallace and Gromit movie. The other ones,
Yeah, Coraline was the first one that came to mind.
They're technically
Oh,
short
Wallace and
films,
Gromit
but
was
then
so
I
good.
was really charmed the hell out of by Kubo and the Two Strings. And it's
Yes.
like, Kubo is like the one where it doesn't seem like it's, animated, or traditionally stop motion animated, because they obviously get the bits here and there that they sort of paper over the cracks with. Let's put a CGI thing here to make you confused. So,
Big shout out to Mary and Max.
Mm-hmm.
I was just laughing because I googled stop motion animated movies, and what I'm looking at is Fantastic Mr. Fox, My Life as a Zucchini, Mary and Max, Corpse Bride, The Pirates, RoboCop 2, Isle of Dogs. One of these.
I mean, technically, there is stop motion animation in it because Verhoeven had no budget, but is it truly a full? Just thinking pretty RoboCop just there. You're coming with me. like
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, I was trying.
I want
The one
to
I'm-
see a stop motion animated scene of like a RoboCop shootout now, and I want it to be very like violent and gory. Like when there's a gunshot, like there's stop motion blood coming out of the wound. Like
I was gonna say we kind of got half of a stop motion murder because I can't remember what the hell it's called now, and I just rewatched it recently too. The giant thing is stop motion, right?
BFG.
Yeah.
the Ed 209 or whatever it is.
Does I call it the big fucking guy?
I want to say Ed 209 just because that's just how I remember that one, and I think it was something like that. Favorite movie based off a short film.
The very first one that popped in my head was Whiplash, but there's got to be another one.
Yeah, you might have to Google that list because I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
Here we are. There's a whole Wikipedia list.
Oh,
That's convenient. Oh, 12 Monkeys. Yeah.
Mm.
Trying to speed through these. Yeah, a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies technically count.
yeah.
Like Hard Eight and
I guess
Boogie Nights.
yeah,
and,
Boogie Nights. I don't think I've even seen that. I don't know whether I can classify. Well, no, I've seen Boogie Nights, but I don't know whether I've seen like the original short, and I don't think like anybody has, or very few people. The one that, if it counts, considering how there's similar locations, Edgar Wright's Dead Right, that's on the special edition Hot Fuzz stuff, is a pretty good sort of inspiration, because there is God knows how many stereotypes in the short film, along with the stereotypes somewhat carrying over into the sort of thing.
Well, I have a couple of shout outs here. Because both the movie and the short are absolutely terrifying, I have to shout out Lights Out.
Yeah.
Which I think doesn't get enough credit for how absolutely terrifying it is. And the obvious answer for me that I just completely... This is why we need to pull up lists, because sometimes a lot of the really obvious answers they just go out of your head. Obviously, my answer is Sling Blade.
Be getting
I had
mustard.
the first Saw.
Oh, was that an short? Okay.
I didn't know this was a short apparently, but one of the things listed here is "Hello, My Name Is Doris," which is a movie I will always stand up for. The Sally Field movie. I really, really love that movie a lot.
I'm now trying to use my second screen experience to look at something that Josephine said about. Did you see the Gold Derby polls or odds yet? Which I just went to Gold Derby and it's a lot of Emmy stuff. So I don't know.
I'm getting Oscar ready, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I am reading Women Talking and Killers of the Flower Moon both right now. It's like, because I'm trying to get a jump on it because it wasn't until I read The Lost Daughter that I started predicting Buckley this past year. And it's like sometimes, as long as they stay faithful, reading the books can really help predictions.
Um, I'm sort of seeing the stuff there. Like, yeah, there's people that have. It's always better when we actually know what's coming out at the festivals, which we'll get to. In terms of that, so
Yeah, because when I think of looking right now, I think about the fact that there was like 3 whole months where Richard Jenkins was the front runner for the Humans. There was a very long period where Richard Jenkins was the front runner for the Humans, and then the Humans just disappeared without a trace.
well, the usual, well, the expected suspect of Michelle Yeoh seems to be cropping up a lot, and the really usual suspect of Spielberg is apparently like the two headlines that I can see from like the last week or so. So I'm not surprised.
I also heard they have Ki Kwan in supporting, which I feel like is misplaced, but like I feel like he's a clear lead, unless I'm remembering the movie wrong.
Josephine says my mom and I have been binging Better Call Saul all summer and we absolutely love it. That's you know, considering how we know where it's roughly got to go, it's interesting how it is getting there and whatever. At least from the episodes I've seen so far from the final season. Worst CGI in a movie. I'm not being a hater here, but quite a lot from Phase 4 of the MCU so far has really been subpar. Shang-Chi probably is the one that is just about alright, but there were bits in Black Widow that I was not impressed with. There's bits in Doctor Strange I'm not happy with. Eternals had some bits that looked a bit shoddy. Certain bits in 4 don't look right. Even to some extent, certain bits in even the Spider-Man one I didn't think were great. But is that because Marvel is working the CGI crews to the bone and they're not happy about it? When are they going to unionize? Answers on a postcard. Hopefully it's in the next 2 weeks, otherwise they'll be on strike.
I'm trying to rule out like notoriously shit movies like Mockbusters or Sharknado or some shit. Like movies that would be expected to have great CGI that looks like absolute shit. And I feel like there's options like every summer. And there's so many options I can't even think of one right now.
Considering the budget that it had, the Monster Hunter film should have had better CGI, I would say. I know I shouldn't expect a lot because it's Paul W.S. Anderson, but there was a budget there. Where did the budget go if it wasn't for CGI?
And while we're on the topic of Mia Jovovich, any of her movies would probably be an answer here outside of The Fifth Element. But I hate to just like continue to pile onto this movie, but David Harbour's Hellboy comes to mind. And I'm thinking less about the monsters and more of the gore. The CGI gore in Hellboy looked like shit.
Any thoughts from you, Chris, as to dodgy CGI?
I'm racking my brain. I can't think of any movies off the top of my head where it was so bad throughout that I remembered it was just like a part here or a part there, and I can't think of what any of them are at the moment.
There's also sometimes where it's movies that aren't CGI heavy. Like I think about doesn't the scene in Maps to the Stars where somebody sets themselves on fire, I think is like the only time that movie used CGI, and it was you would think they would put the effort into their one CGI scene, especially from somebody like Cronenberg, but then again, Cronenberg's more of a practical guy, so maybe it makes sense.
Yeah, it's similar with the one scene where the dummy gets shot in Romero's Dawn of the Dead, I think. I'm trying to get confused whether it was Dawn or Day, but one of the two, when it was clearly sort of like a dummy that just had its, or was it the? No, it wouldn't have been the original because it was color. Where it was clear that it was sort of a doll that explode if you go for it, which is just very akin to the scene in Scanners where it goes from like the guy there and then it's like, well, that's clearly a puppet that's having its head exploded.
Also just
that because it's Indian on a budget, and at the time you didn't have Adobe After Effects and everything.
There's also stuff like Red Notice where like everything is green screen. When like everything's green screen, that's shit that's like looks really bad.
Josephine says, on Friday night I watched Joe Dante's Matinee. It was great.
I saw where Joe Dante is upset because he thinks that Baby Yoda's a ripoff of Gizmo. Is that a new controversy, or I think it's a one-person controversy, but I feel like it was something that I heard a while back, but then I only just saw like an article recently where he was talking about that.
Favorite Joe Dante film? I always love seeing Dick Miller's appearances in the films. Rest in peace. I always have to say Gremlins 2, just because the studio wanted a sequel to Gremlins, and Dante was like, is it okay if I do this one that basically makes fun of the first film and like is completely different? And they said yes, and it somehow got through. And it's just so like, it's so Dante, it's so counterculture that the counter has gone, I have no culture, get rid of the counter.
Well, brother, I think you and I have the same answer.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Gremlins 2.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, what did you say?
I was going to say The Burbs.
Oh, damn. It's a toss-up between Gremlins 2 and The Burbs. I think The Burbs needs a rewatch.
Oh, man. I think my last Burbs rewatch was recent, but all of my The Burbs rewatches are recent.
Which movie
Speaking of Gremlins, I noticed when I went on my toy hunt to Pittsburgh last weekend, they've got some really cool Gremlins figures out right now that are like super detailed.
Are they
good? Having seen some of the toys,
the one I see the most is the Flasher Gremlin. That's the one I see the most.
Having seen some of the toys and likenesses of like the WWE or AEW talents that showed up at Comic-Con this past week, I'm like, that really doesn't look like them.
Were these like a different line than those ones we saw at Target, where like they had the brain and stuff like that? Were they more detailed than that?
No, it might have been those. It might have been those. Oh, I also meant to tell you, I found out that there are other Ace Ventura action figures out there. At least one.
Alrighty then.
Is it just him? Is there the one that we saw was the one where he's at the institution with the tutu? Is there? I assume there's just one where he's just in his regular getup.
Yeah, it's like a red and orange Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Striped pants.
No, I can't remember if his pants were striped. They should be. Now that you mention it.
So I just scroll through, just looking for any other names. Binaural Dean, Lorraine as well. Just have a quick look. Getting back to where I was. Which movie character would you like to see his or her very own sip and snack? Willy Wonka.
Oh, that's a good one.
Obviously. Like, what if one of them is so... I mean, I don't want to... considering we heard a story about a Chinese man being executed because he decided to set fire to his ex-wife while she was streaming on the Chinese streaming service. It's not like I'm trying to say I want to see Wonka have something so bad that it kills him. It's like when there's something where it's like, the recipe just didn't come out right. It needed a little tweak here and there, and like the Bertie Bott's beans from Harry Potter, where it's like it could be candy, but it could be rotten egg. Awesome.
So, are we under the impression that Wonka would do a video and have something so bad that it kills him? And I'm assuming the Oompa Loompas are the ones that put it on YouTube anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's anything like the Minions, they'll just go banana.
I think there were several options that went through my mind with this one, but I think I have to go with I would love to see a sip and snack with the Peacemaker. Especially if the food is really bad. I just could see him taking a bite and spit it out and go, oh, this fucking sucks. And then it would go into some big dick joke, but it would be fun.
So James Gunn's writing this video too.
Yeah.
I don't know how they answer. All I can think, anytime movies and food come up in a conversation, all I can think of is how much I want to know what the Ed sauce tastes like. By the way, my 25th anniversary Blu-ray Steelbook of Good Burger got here in the mail the other day.
Nice.
Oh, AJ, I'm surprised, especially since he eats in every scene. This is kind of an obscure answer. I would watch a snippet snack with Rusty from Ocean's 11.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite jokes ever is in the last scene of the movie when he's waiting for Danny to come out of prison and he finally has heartburn.
Josephine said, as for me, I'd love to see Billy Madison devour a snack pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fair. Oh, this is an interesting one.
I just realized something. We never see Billy eat a snack pack. That is the equivalent of the fact that we never see the dude bowl.
I'd want the video to start though with Billy already being in a good mood because it shows him trade a bushel of bananas for a box of snack pack.
Oh, we've got an interesting buy one, rent one, lose one here. We're themed around Philadelphia.
Ooh.
Rocky is not included for, I guess, fear that Sylvester Stallone will beat the crap out of us. I don't know. So we have Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Story. Don't worry, not all of them have Philadelphia in the title. Blowout, Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Trading Places, National Treasure, Witness, Mannequin, 12 Monkeys, The Italian Job, The Blob, Invincible, Mikey and Nicky.
Okay, Mannequin's out. That's easy.
Yep, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I'd get out of The Italian Job. It's got barely anything to fucking do with Italy. This might be British bias because, you know, I actually like the original one. Rather than whatever the hell bloody Charlie's Theron.
Do you mind?
And the cat's like, yes, I do mind.
Oh man, Owen picked a bad week to miss because last week he said he wanted to see the cat.
He's probably watching.
Do not knock down Batman and Riddler. Stop bumping my wrestling ring.
I heard two that I felt like would be at the top. One was The Sixth Sense. I can't remember what the other one was.
Philadelphia Story, Blowout, Unbreakable, Trading Places, National Treasure, Witness, 12 Monkeys, Blob, Invincible, Mikey and Nicky. Those are the
I'm gonna buy Philadelphia, but then I'm gonna cheer myself up by renting National Treasure. Because I don't care. I will fight for National Treasure.
I mean, it must be good enough in the stimulus if it's getting a Disney Plus series.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm gonna take your approach. I'm gonna do the kind of dark one and then the light one. So I will go with Blowout, which obviously has that very, very dark and disturbing but brilliant ending, and then I'd have to follow that up with Trading Places.
I'd probably buy Unbreakable just to remember what that was before Shyamalan sort of ruined it with the other two. And I'd probably go for Rent because I still haven't seen it, but I have seen the remake of Blob. Just because I want to see Steve McQueen. I'm a Steve McQueen mark.
What I said at the beginning of this video, you'll notice I kind of twitched when you said The Italian Job and The Blob. Those may be so close, they're literally sitting here with me.
Uh-oh.
That's bizarre.
With news of... Wow, I didn't even get to this, and we've already sort of addressed it? Or at least I mentioned it. With news of VFX artists frustrated working with Marvel, do you think it's about time they get unionized akin to the IATSE? In all honesty, yes. I feel sorry, because I honestly think Taika Waititi did want to put out the full, 4-hour version of Love and Thunder, but Disney don't want it. Disney say that there's no... I love the fact that Disney say there's no demand for director's cuts or extended cuts of films. So what...
The Snyder Cut would like a word.
Well, I was going to say, although it's technically not them because it's Sony, what's their take on the Spider-Man Labor Day thing that's coming out in a month? You know, with the extra bits that are being added in.
Oh, is that the freshman year thing?
No, it's the... Because there's no major films coming out Labor Day weekend at the cinema,
Mm-hmm.
Sony are putting together, No Way Home but it's like the extra Spidey cut or something like that. There's gonna be like bits that sort of were deleted scenes.
I I'll probably pass. Marvel puts out enough content for me to try to keep up with. Hell, it took me 10 days to watch Thor. Never finished Moon Knight. I'm only one episode into Ms. Marvel. I've got enough to keep me busy.
I'm just double checking.
I'm just kind of concerned about. I mean, I'm excited for Ali, but I'm really curious what a watered down Blade is gonna be like. That's gonna be weird.
Why do you think it's going to be watered down?
Do you see them going beyond PG-13 for it?
Dude, they just put Logan and Deadpool on Disney Plus in their rated R versions. You don't know because Ryan Reynolds posted it on Instagram. But yeah, Logan and Deadpool in their full uncut versions are on Disney Plus right now.
Okay, so
And they've already guaranteed that Deadpool will be Deadpool 3 will still be rated R.
Okay, so they put Logan and Deadpool uncensored on Disney Plus, but they edited Adventures in Babysitting and Splash.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Adventures in Babysitting and Splash are carrying PG ratings. With a rated R rating, you know to expect that.
Yeah.
Like, if you were going to sit down and watch Adventures in Babysitting with a 5-year-old and she said, don't fuck with the babysitter, you'd be a little uneasy, right?
I don't know. That might have been my sexual awakening when I saw it as a kid.
Just looking at these details for the spider, like what it's called and everything, I love the fact it says the reason why it got boycotted in China is China didn't want the Statue of Liberty in it.
Yeah.
That was apparently it. Like, okay. So the extended cut
there's a lot of movies banned for a lot of, quite frankly, dumb reasons.
The extended cut version is entitled the More Fun Stuff version, which has additional scenes and deleted scenes. Additional scenes and deleted scenes to celebrate 60 years of Spider-Man in comics and 20 years of Spider-Man in film. Apparently.
Well, when they put it like that, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because it's commemorative now. See,
But
before
also,
I thought they were just doing it to get more of my money. And
the real reason is there's nothing out Labor Day weekend. They want to earn some extra money to try and get that $2 billion probably.
Why don't you just move up She-Hulk or something?
Yeah, well, She-Hulk's a series.
Yeah, but you could debut the series that weekend. Debut the first 2 episodes or 3, or debut the whole series. Make it mean something. I don't know.
There's too many series on Disney Plus. That's their problem.
I just want to know what we're doing with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. That's what I'm most curious about right now. I want to know what Elaine's doing, and I want to know if she finds John Walker sponge-worthy. That's all I want to know.
So back to the unionization thing, because I got sidetracked because of the extended cut of 4, but like I saw a bit where it was maybe GQ or Vanity Fair, you know, where they do the whole look at a scene bit, and they note how the CGI is pretty bad and how apparently an outtake got left in and things like that. And it's like, so all the, you know, you can think that all these people that are putting all this effort into the CGI for maximum effort for little sort of payback, and they're sort of making fun of their work. You know, it's not great. You know, to be fair, the whole CGI thing has been around since what was it, Avengers, a decade ago, when they sort of like mentioned it as part of their speech when they picked up the award. I think it was something like that. It wasn't when it was like a small film like Gravity or or Ex Machina. It was one of the big ones.
And so when I hear about controversies with workers in visual effects, I think of Life of Pi. That was a big deal.
Yeah, it might have been that one actually, but that would have been around 2011.
Life of Pi is 2012.
So it would have been the same time as Avengers.
I know Chris Jericho mentioned this too in terms of like when people call out botches in wrestling. And, I have to agree. I'm not going to sit there and call out somebody's work because I know I'm not going to get up and get in a wrestling ring and I'm not going to get in front of a computer and create Thor Love and Thunder. So for me, I'll just sit back, enjoy what I get, and realize that it's humans making these and there's no reason to get up in arms about it.
Chris Jericho is the voice of reason.
So, because Josephine is bringing it up, I might as well touch on the festivals. So as it stands so far, we'll go in reverse chronological order, I guess. So far, only confirmed for TIFF. We've got Nicholas Stoller's Bros, I guess it is. I guess that's what it's being called.
Isn't that the Billy Eichner thing?
Co-written with Billy, yeah. Clement Virgo's Brother. Spielberg's Fablemans. Glass Onion. A Knives Out Mystery from Rian Johnson. Michael Grandage's My Policeman. I've heard some good things about. Sanaa Lathan with her film On the Come Up. And then the other one that I saw the poster of, Gina Prince Bythewood, who did Love and Basketball and more recently The Old Guard. She has The Woman King, the film based on the Dahomey Amazons, the all-female military regiment with Viola Davis in the lead.
I heard there might be some controversy coming about The Woman King. By the way, I only glance over these things, so I'm not saying anything is like definitive or like I know exactly what I'm talking about. I just know it was something about the fact that apparently Viola Davis's character and like maybe her people or something were slave owners historically, and the movie is going over that.
The film supposedly depicts how they fought enemies who violated their honor, enslaved their people, and threatened to destroy everything they've lived for. But yeah, a lot of people apparently bringing up the actual historical accuracy of the thing.
I can never tell when this stuff's gonna blow over and when it could like legitimately kill a movie. It seems like it goes either way.
Yeah. And then the big stuff from Venice.
One more thing on that. So is that basically confirmation for sure that we're probably getting Knives Out 2 this year?
I think that is confirmed, right? Hang on.
Because that would be amazing.
Glass Onion, Knives Out Mystery.
Can I go on another little 10-second rant?
Go ahead.
I don't care about historical accuracies in a movie. If I want to see the accurate picture, that's what museums are for. I'm there to watch a movie and see a good story be told.
The problem is
I didn't complain
most
with
of the
Tarantino blew up Hitler. I didn't complain about any of that.
The problem is that most people, when they watch it, it's the sort of like TV box generation. They believe it is true. The amount of people that think that some of the stuff that's talked about on the Daily Show was real when Stewart was doing it, and Noah to some extent, even some of the bits they make jokes of, it's like, well, that isn't actually a joke. They're just laughing because, they're laughing because it's funny, not because.
If you want to see something historically accurate, I'm going to help you out again by putting Paramount over one more time. But Paramount has the Smithsonian Channel as part of their package. There's a lot of fun based in fact things there.
I will say that most of the time, like 99% of the time, I feel the same way, where it's like, I really don't give a fuck about historical accuracy. That's what documentaries are for. That's what my defense of Green Book was. But, and some people might say what I'm about to say could be against Green Book, but just a few examples come to mind. And something like in the Woman King's instance, the only time I would say historical accuracy is a really bad thing for movies is if the actual history is in direct conflict with what the movie's like message is. Because like the idea of, oh, they're fighting against slavery, but we're also slave owners in real life, kind of feels like it's conflicting. And another key example that comes is I really, really love Richard Jewell. And the controversy with that movie was there's a subplot where Olivia Wilde is a reporter that sleeps with John Hamm to get information, which of course doesn't make her look great. And it turned out that her character in real life did nothing like that at all. She did it basically solely on work and not through like sex. And it's like, it's a movie about smearing somebody's name. That's the whole message of the movie.
Plus,
it's like in those cases, I get it.
There's two big things though that they do that tell you, like, you automatically know that some of the stuff in there could be BS, and that's one. It doesn't say that the movie is a true story. It says it's based on a true story, so it's just the basis of the plot. And then I learned this from you, actually, that even in movies that are supposed to be biopics and stuff like that, they put the disclaimer at the end that all the characters are fictitious and some of the events didn't happen. I mean, did anybody go watch Guardians of the Galaxy and was like, fuck, there's an 80s kids in space? Nobody did that.
Well, depends on what your age is, because there was that great story that Ben Affleck told, where while he was making The Last Duel and working with Adam Driver, he told his kid that he was working with Kylo Ren, and his kid genuinely had no idea how Affleck could make a movie with Kylo Ren if Kylo Ren lived in space.
I think too that there's a difference too if you market that your movie is historically accurate and then it's not. Yeah, you're an asshole in that situation. But if you make no claim at all that if you don't go out on a stage and say this is 100% true, this is exactly what happened, and then it's historically inaccurate, I mean, you didn't set up that expectation anyway.
Let us not forget inspired by a true story, which means there might be one character name in here that's accurate, and like for some reason horse movies come to mind. Like, remember Dreamer with Russell, or like Secretariat or something, where it's like, isn't Dreamer inspired by a true story the full title of that movie? It's like I guarantee there was once a story about a horse, and that's the basis you're using.
I'm pretty sure we've watched movies that are comedies and they start by saying everything that happened is completely true, and it obviously isn't.
Fargo.
Yeah.
Considering how I just literally searched inspired by a true story, I love the fact on the side it says see results about Dreamer, so I'm pretty sure you're right there, AJ.
Yes.
That couldn't have worked out any better.
But then again,
movies are subjective. At the end of the day, they're there to sell tickets, and they're going to do whatever they can to spice up the story to make it more interesting.
What's also really interesting, though, is that Fargo is the key example of where they purposefully said it was a true story when it wasn't. But then when you actually look into it, there actually are quite a few elements in Fargo that they took from real crimes, so it's not entirely off base. Was Fargo
marketed as a true story at the time? Like, was it saying based on a true story in the trailers or on the poster or anything like that?
I have no idea. I had no idea what Fargo was in 1996.
Well, I didn't know. I know you love the movie, so I didn't know if you'd gone back and watched the trailers for it at some point or anything like that.
One time, I was walking through Hollywood Video, and I saw the DVD for, or no, probably the video for The Big Lebowski. And at the top of The Big Lebowski, it says, "From the creators of Fargo." That's how I learned of Fargo's existence. Was that apparently the guys that did The Big Lebowski had made a movie called Fargo. That's all I knew for the longest time about Fargo.
And then the news from Venice, although not confirmed yet, because I believe it's in the next couple of weeks that the list will officially be revealed. But we've got Inarritu's Mexico set comedy Bardo, Noah Baumbach's White Noise with Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig,
Of course.
Sally Al-Assini's Syrian refugee movie The Swimmers, and then the new film from Sebastian Lelio, The Wonder, which, considering how I enjoyed Fantastic Woman and Disobedience and Gloria Bell, I'm intrigued to see what happens there. We also have Olivia Wilde's Don't Worry Darling, which I just saw the trailer for, because I guess I missed it in trying to get the list of like all the stuff that got announced at Comic-Con, because it showed up on Thursday. I now understand why at CinemaCon she said it's inspired by The Matrix and Inception and The Truman Show, and certainly with the 50s aesthetic, it's very Stepford Wives as well. It's something that I wouldn't expect from the person that gave us Booksmart. It is very much sort of a different. It's more of a black. Well, not even comedy. It is a sort of, I can't say psychological thriller because there just seems something off by it. It's sci-fi. It's got to be something sci-fi, surely.
For the last like 3 months, every single movie I've seen in theaters, I think, had a "Don't Worry, Darling" trailer on it, and so I know I would know the sound of that trailer in my sleep. I feel like at the start, I hear Chris Pine's voice at what sounds like a dinner party, and then after that, I have no idea what the hell's happening.
Yeah.
And now that because now that Nope is out, Don't Worry, Darling is going to be the trailer that's literally on every single movie that comes out now. Because it was Elvis, then it was Nope, and now it's Don't Worry, Darling. There's always one trailer that's on constant rotation on every single movie, and it's kind of driving me insane. And I'm not even watching the trailers.
But I think that whether it's the same trailer that, if you've been seeing the trailer for a while, considering this is the new trailer that got publicly released on Thursday, I don't know if it's that one.
Yeah, I think I might have heard it on Nope, because I heard Chris Pine again, and I was like, that's got to be that. Because I don't think Dungeons and Dragons was on Nope, so that's the only thing it really could be.
We also have Tar, Todd Field's first film since Little Children.
I thank God. By the how long has he had like a third movie in development? Because in the
Little
Betterment,
Children was 16 years ago. Little Children was 16 years ago. Yeah. Kate Blanchett leading in that one as well. We've also apparently got Sarah Polly's Women Talking. Tilda Swinton's going to be busy because we've got Joanna Hogg's Eternal Daughter, Del Toro's Pinocchio, and Wes Anderson's Asteroid City that might all be showing up at Venice.
So she's in all of those on top of the George Miller movie.
Yeah, apparently.
Tilda Swinton must have accidentally got her schedule crossed with Dwayne Johnson or something.
Luca Guadagnino has Bones and All, with Chalamet starring, that MGM has the rights to. Emmanuel Crialis has La Mencita with Penelope Cruz. Florian Zeller's The Sun from Sony with Hugh Jackman and Anthony Hopkins and Vanessa Kirby.
Whatever that is, I don't know what The Sun is, but whatever it is, I'm on board with whatever Florian Zeller's doing.
Darren Aronofsky's The Whale, the return of Brendan Fraser.
Potatoes in pieces or mashed?
Pieces.
I've done some gravy.
Okay.
And Yorkshire puddings. You come down and sort your plate.
A24's got US rights, and for Whale, I guess that is. And then also Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Tuesday, apparently, and Ari Aster's Disappointment Boulevard. TIFF's missing out. It's all going to be at Venice, apparently.
I'm a little worried. Isn't this Ari Aster movie supposed to be like 4 hours or something?
I don't know. Jeez. Sorry, I'm just looking down the rest of this article from Screen Daily. We've also got Martin McDonagh's Banshees of Inisherin. And Maria Schrader's She Said, the story about the bringing down Harvey Weinstein. Lissandro Alonso's Eureka with Viggo Mortensen.
She Said...
Uh-oh.
is another book that I read recently, and I almost feel like you can't really do She Said justice unless you have like Gwyneth Paltrow and Ashley Judd and the others like playing themselves. Apparently, somebody on IMDb is listed as playing Rose McGowan's voice. And it's like I'm just wondering how this is going to translate.
Wow.
And if
this is gonna be weird. So yeah, I don't think, because Josephine does ask, with the limited knowledge, what do we think will predict will win People's Choice at TIFF? I think there's too few to know there, and I really don't know what's going to win at Venice, because that list is like, geez, one of them's probably going to be shit, but out of like 20, somebody's going to make a film where it's like, that's no good. That is no good. Bry saying I almost forgot about this. We're always here every fortnight, Bry. It's probably because I need to put the notifications out rather than half an hour before we go live. So while I quickly try and head out and to get dinner sorted, which movie scientist would most likely win a Nobel Prize? We've got Emmett Brown, Dr. Strangelove, Alan Grant, Sherman Klump from Nutty Professor, Indiana Jones, or Wayne Slasky from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I was literally just waiting for Wayne Szalinski to show up. That's all I was doing, thinking about that. It's like, he's got to be here.
I would think it would have to be a scientist where, like, whatever they didn't destroy the Earth. That Wayne Szalinski didn't destroy the Earth. I would eliminate Emmett Brown because there's a lot of crazy implications with time travel that could happen.
And he's got a controversial reputation.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else is on that list? Doctor Strangelove I haven't seen, so I'm not sure.
I keep forgetting you've only seen it like in parts.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones was in there.
Yeah, but he doesn't really, like, he discovers historical artifacts, but he's not really doing anything to advance anything. Like, it's not like he's using the power of the Ark of the Covenant to, I don't know, do something constructive with it or something.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, my mind keeps going to Wayne Szalinski, but what are
Mhm.
like what are the more like world changing things he would do? Because obviously by the time we got to the third movie, it's just all about what he could do with the Tiki Man.
Yeah.
It seems like, and after it was this big government thing in the second movie.
Yeah, but it requires him to go on an adventure with Stuart Pankin, and if you're offered to go on an adventure with Stuart Pankin, you say yes. It's like if somebody asks you if you're a god, like you say yes.
Oh man, if Michael Douglas had spent more time with Stuart Pankin and less with Glenn Close, Fatal Attraction would have been a totally different movie.
Okay, I got something that he can contribute to society. With his shrink ray, it could revolutionize travel and what you would have to pack and take with you and what you could have. And then with the growing technology, he could cure world hunger. Take a turkey over to one of those nations that has a lot of hungry people, cook it, blow it the hell up, boom.
That's right.
I can't remember the name, but I'd go with Robin Williams' character in Flubber. I mean, we're looking for a good energy source as a replacement.
I think another person you could nominate, but it's like Emmett Brown. Their especially their methods are controversial and their reputation is controversial. I mean, Frankenstein created life. Like,
Yeah.
but like with
He
Dr.
also-
Brown, though, he has a controversial reputation, and it was enough that the town wanted to burn his house down.
Yeah, he stole like body part dead and stuff like that. That's probably.
Yeah. But see, somebody should go to the site of that fire, dig up the research, and then just go about it through proper means with waivers and like people signing up to have their loved one try to be reanimated. Like, go about it the right way, and boom, that's a Nobel Prize winning feat there. But I still got to give the edge to Wayne Szalinski though, because he's curing world hunger. So he's
not
able
to
save,
mention
he's able
like
to
what
save
other
hundreds of lives at a time instead of one, like Frankenstein would have to.
and what other if we're talking about him blowing things up. We're
Mhm.
talking about him, like when you mentioned a turkey, you talked about him blowing up something that's normal sized.
Mhm.
He could. What are things that are tiny that we don't see as edible right now that could be if they were blown up? That could be a whole other can of worms as well. Maybe literally.
You could use that in cancer research. Like, instead of looking at a blood sample under a microscope to see how to fight cancer, blow it up and put it in an aquarium and study it that way.
Okay, so Wayne Szalinski's definitely our answer.
Yeah, because it's funny. He has the most life-changing science and does the least with it. But even moving, like, could you imagine if you could use the shrink ray and just shrink down all of your belongings, throw it in one box to move? U-Haul would be pissed.
Yeah,
They'd be out of business, but
and a very tiny box at that.
yeah, and
It could literally
companies
be like a ring thing.
the only one that comes to mind is thanks to Jim Carrey, but companies like Samsonite will be pissed because there's no reason to have a big suitcase now.
Well, I mean, suitcases would still work because you could have them like all that make them compact easier.
But
Before they
then you have a problem where that could still be used for evil, because then you could have people transporting drugs, weapons, stuff like that shrunk down like that. So it'd be a lot easier to smuggle illegal things into countries if you had the shrink ray.
There is a whole spy movie
Mm-hmm.
that could be made where the plot is somebody trying to get Wayne Szalinski's like blueprints.
Yes. Yes.
For a minute there, I thought you were gonna say, what was the fucking Brightman film? Downsizing?
Alexander Payne.
Oh, it was Alexander Payne. I knew it was in that same vein. But like Downsizing meets Sicario. You know,
Wow.
like,
Plus, you
just minimize the
also
drugs, and that's how you
throwing-
get it in.
Because the growing could also be something that's used for nefarious means. Like, since Owen's not here, I'll use this example. Imagine if somebody throws a snake in the middle of Times Square like a king cobra and just enlarges it. Then you've got an Avengers level threat. So, but I feel like Wayne Zelinsky's could still do the most good, but the ramifications, if it got into the wrong hands, could go really, really badly.
I want to see Cheech and Chong with Wayne, so we can just call it "Honey, I Blew Up the Hash" or something.
I want to see them shrink giant sizes. I want a triple crossover. I want Cheech and Chong to have stacks and stacks of weed. Show Wayne Zelinsky shrink ray shrinking it, and then having Adam Sandler walk up with something tiny and go, "You can put your weed in there." I want a triple crossover, and I want a
That's what we want. Fuck you, Multiverse Saga. This is the real multiverse.
By the way, I love the fact that you and I have already done a video on the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids trilogy. And we went on tangents like this, but none of this came up. That video,
I'm gonna make another connection. Now, you've seen how big Wayne Zelinsky can make things, right? You've seen this, yes? Look what happened in Good Burger just when the burgers got too big. Now imagine that on a massive scale.
At this rate, with how many blooming digressions we've gone, I feel like we need Kevin Bacon because we need 6.
Josephine, I hope we thoroughly answered your question.
Fuck Emmett Brown. Fuck Alan Grant. Wayne all the way.
Oh yeah, Alan Grant was a good contender. We never really talked about that.
Fuck your dinosaurs. Fuck Jerry Lewis or Eddie Murphy.
Wait a minute though. In that case, if we're going to credit Jurassic Park to a scientist, I think Alan Grant's the wrong one. I think B.D. Wong would have to get the credit. You right?
Yeah, if we're not counting the World movies where he kind of went heel for a little bit, but but nobody counts the World movies. Nobody should count the World movies. So I watched all those again when Dominion was coming out, and it's crazy when we have Jurassic World movies now how not bad Jurassic Park 3 looks now. It's crazy. I'll take Tia Leone and her stupid fucking megaphone over Chris Pratt any day.
I enjoyed the first Jurassic World, but when Fallen Kingdom went like weird, like let's go to a stately home where we're selling off dinosaurs, it's like, what? Can we get Wayne? Are we smoking too much of that stuff from Cheech and Chong that did we grow that up as well with the Indominus Rex? Genetically modified that?
So whoever made that scene with the auctioning of the dinosaurs definitely either saw a sneak peek of the first episode of Hawkeye or that auction scene in Tomb Raider. Somebody watched those in the span of making that scene.
So, is your phone okay? Because we can still hear you clearly, but you look like you're in a found footage movie now.
I don't know. It should be fine.
You look like
you're on my side.
You look like you're at the climax of a found footage movie, and this is your death scene.
It's Paramount hunting me down, or the older people that was mad at my true great answer.
Wayne's like, no, you're letting out my secret.
If somebody from the government
maybe
that's
what the Honey I maybe that's the Honey I Shrunk the whatever it is movie that's coming on Disney Plus like later this year or next year is about.
Oh, maybe.
About drugs. We're going harder.
Yeah, it's
and
one
I don't know if it's the Fast and Furious coming out of me or what, but the FDA agent that I want to be harassing Wayne Zelinsky, I want it to be played by Kurt Russell.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like an in joke because he'd be like playing the Cesar Romero part of his old Disney movies, like the Peter Martino shoes and stuff like that.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I'm trying to find the. I can't remember. Right. Back on track with chat.
We could have done a whole video on Wayne Zelinsky and his contributions to mankind.
Back on
That
track
could have
with
been a
chat.
separate video.
I love the remake of Here Comes
Could
Mr.
you
Jordan.
could you imagine like Owen promoting that? And next week we're gonna have a video where we just talk about Wayne Zelinsky's contributions.
That's what's hilarious is we've done one. Technically, it just turns out we didn't even scratch the surface.
I love
it needed to be a two-parter.
I love the remake of Here Comes Mr. Jordan, Heaven Can Wait just as much, if not more than the original. I guess that's Josephine's response to the remake stuff that we did earlier. Also, Owen's just said Laura Barnes for whatever reason.
Oh, God. I have another one that's kind of unconventional. I prefer the Lindsay Lohan Freaky Friday.
Yes. Definitely. Actually, yeah, like honestly, kind of by far.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I still think Here Comes Mr. Jordan, I think I like a little better than Heaven Can Wait. And while it's not near on this level, I do think Chris Rock's Down to Earth is kind of underrated, which is also the one that follows Heaven Can Wait.
Okay, to me, from Josephine, if a guys were to link you up on a date with Elizabeth Debicki, Jessie Buckley, or Thomasin McKenzie, who would it be? Mackenzie's too young. I don't want to be considered, trying to date somebody that's like 10 years younger than me. To be honest, I'd say Buckley, because I don't know whether Debicki is... I don't know whether Debicki would work. Jessie just seems like a fun, friendly person, even though I have watched Men when she kills God knows what.
You mean like Fargo, where she's a literal serial killer?
Yeah, that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like. I hate to say that I have a type because it sounds shallow, but I've never really been drawn towards women that are really tall. So Debicki just never really registered with me, but something about Debicki in the Burnt Orange Heresy, I was like, well, I think I'm kind of into Debicki now.
I don't have an answer. I don't know who any of those folks are.
If age wasn't a factor, I probably would go with Mackenzie, but I think Buckley would be more sort of like more of an interesting time.
For you, brother, Elizabeth Debicki is the gold woman in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't tell you much, but
Jessie Buckley was Queen Victoria in Doolittle.
I didn't see Doolittle.
Good. Thomasin's been... I guess Thomasin you might have seen Last Night in Soho.
No, I didn't see it.
You still haven't seen Jojo Rabbit yet, have you?
No.
Dude, you are way behind on Jojo Rabbit. I think you'll really dig it.
It needs to start streaming somewhere.
Is it not still?
No, I search for it at least every few months.
Considering it's Fox,
I'm like, I'll watch
surprised it
today,
isn't up as part of the Star section or whatever it is on Disney Plus yet. Considering it is their baby. Favorite Ingrid Bergman film? I'm gonna say just was I go out to grab dinner. That's the next question, by the way, guys. I want to go with The Seventh Seal just so I can put in this news story that I just read where a robot broke a 7-year-old boy's finger during a chess match in Moscow last week.
Skynet.
So I just imagine
Watch out for
Death now
Skynet.
breaking somebody's finger. in, in Seventh Seal,
That's
like,
how-
you cheated.
What is it?
That's how it starts. Robert Patrick breaks your finger, and then all of a sudden he's throwing knives out of his hands.
I'm coming, sorry.
Wait, I didn't get. He said the Seventh Seal, but I couldn't tell if it was Ingrid Bergman or Ingmar Bergman.
I think he's an
Um,
angry.
Okay, because Ingrid's the actress, but Ingmar's the director that did the Seventh Seal. I'm not sure. I can't see the chat at the moment. Actually, I can never see the chat, but I guess we'll just answer both. Why not?
But you will answer both because I haven't seen any by either one. Yes, I haven't even seen Casablanca.
I think I want to say my favorite director Bergman movie is Persona, but I also feel like that's something that could change from day to day. So let's dissect this. I have the giant Criterion box set that's like the Holy Grail. I really like the trilogy, Through Glass Darkly and Winter Light and The Silence, just kind of as a whole. Autumn Sonata. I actually wrote something recently that where I was really inspired by Autumn Sonata, and I kind of went by the structure of that. Yeah, for Bergman, it's probably Persona, but there's a lot of options.
I mean, technically, also Scenes from a Marriage.
Yeah.
That did get cut down into like a 3-hour film.
And when you've seen the miniseries and the movie, that's like the shortest 3 hours ever when you watch the movie again.
We're talking the original miniseries, right?
Yes.
Not the new one.
Yeah.
Bri says, since the last podcast, the last 2010 movies I've seen was War Witch, Outside the Law, Tangerines, and today Citizen 4. I'm trying to remember. I'm guessing those are all documentaries.
I think War Witch and Tangerines are foreign. Citizen 4 is like, I can't remember what the other one was that you mentioned.
Outside the Law.
Yeah, I think that might be foreign also. Like a narrative movie.
Because Tangerines is different to Tangerine. Which I think
Yeah,
is a
very
different...
different.
Fictional restaurant Face Off. Which would you rather eat at? So we've got... This is Josephine again with a good list. The Krusty Krab or the Choky Chicken from Rocco's Modern Life?
Some of the stuff at Choky Chicken looked gross.
I imagine the stuff at Choky Chicken was the same stuff that was served at that buffet in Vegas Vacation.
Yeah.
The blue stuff and the yellow stuff.
Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry. That's chicken. Want some?
Yeah. I love that we gravitated towards the same moment. Okay, so I got a kind of technical question here, even though I know it's, pedantic. But is everything going to be soggy at the Krusty Krab because we're underwater, or is it like as it would be dry? Does the salt water add something to it? Like, do you have to be submerged in salt water for ready to taste that good, or?
So basically, you're asking if Bikini Bottom is more like Atlantis or more like the Gungan City.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, because there's actually some stuff at the Krusty Krab that's like, what's really interesting is I said that there's stuff at Choky Chicken that looks gross. There's stuff at the Krusty Krab that's supposed to be gross that actually kind of looks good. It's like watching Kitchen Nightmares when Ramsey's just like bashing all the food, and you're like, it actually doesn't look that bad.
Dude, they should have done a SpongeBob episode based off of something like Kitchen Nightmares. They could even have Gordon Ramsay voice the fish that comes in.
It'd be so easy. In all the episodes, in all the 20 plus years, you'd think they would have done that by now. Actually, they might have, and I wouldn't know because I know nothing about the new episodes.
Krusty Krab or Good Burger?
I'm going to Good Burger for the Ed sauce.
Yeah. That's gonna come full circle. I gotta know what the Ed sauce is.
Some of these are sort of like crossing over from the previous one. So the Chum Bucket or Mondo Burger?
Mondo Burger, because it seemed like, because no one's ever at the Chum Bucket, Mondo Burger was always packed, so it must have been good.
But is Mondo, because obviously fast food and burgers are going to be unhealthy anyway, but like, is Mondo Burger going to be especially unhealthy? Because we don't really know what triamethol does. If it has any like long-term effects.
I mean, nobody claimed to get sick from the burgers.
Yeah, because Good Burger is one of the movies Jesus Christ, we rewatched while I was down there, and the question I had was, is Mondo Burger just known for the giant burgers, or are the giant burgers the only option?
I'm gonna guess because there was another restaurant that had a burgers, fries, shakes catchphrase. It was Rallies, and Rallies offered chicken, so I'm sure Mondo Burger's got chicken on the menu.
All right, because I don't really, I don't care for a thick burger. So Mondo Burger doesn't really appeal to me if I only have the option of the big ones.
Speaking of chicken, the Chum Bucket.
I want to try the shake because at least I know there won't be a grown man dancing in the shake machine.
Speaking of chicken, we've got Chum Bucket or Los Polanos Hermanos.
Oh, Los Pollos Hermanos, Gus Fring's restaurant.
Yeah, from the Gilligan verse.
Yeah, definitely that, because I'm trying to remember what's even available at the Chum Bucket. I think we've only learned like one or two things off their menu, and I don't even remember what they were. I know that Plankton eats
and probably a Kmart Krusty Krab.
So yeah, Los Pollos Hermanos easily, for sure. The commercial looks really good.
So now we've got Los Polanos Hermanos going up against Vesuvio from Sopranos.
Well, that's gonna be a little more elaborate than just a chicken place. So I'd probably say that. It's been a long time since I watched The Sopranos. Is that Artie's restaurant or somewhere else? Does anybody know this?
Hang on.
When I think of eating establishments in Sopranos, I only remember Artie's restaurant. Is
it's
that what
Artie's,
that is?
Yeah, Vesuvio's is Artie's restaurant.
Okay. Yeah, probably that. Yeah.
Pizza Planet or the pizza place from Do the Right Thing?
I mean,
Sal's would taste better. Sal's would taste a lot more authentic.
Yeah, but Pizza Planet has like guards outside preventing people from entering, so the food in there must be pretty good.
And that arcade looked pretty cool.
Just from having played Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure on PS2 too many times, going in that, doing the skate park, and just hearing alien slime, drink it all the time, over and over again, and be like, no. Anything but that.
Actually, I bet the Pizza Planet pizza would probably be a lot like a Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Yeah.
So then I'd probably have to go with Do the Right Thing because it's going to taste better.
Because I was going to say, I would also go with Sal's because I don't really like chaos, and Pizza Planet would be chaotic, but then it's like, then you remember the end of Do the Right Thing, and it's like, but as long as Sal's place is not being rioted, that's going to be my choice, I think.
You can always get it to go.
That's true, but I feel like a place like Sal's is really like, the environment's really important. Like even Giancarlo Esposito, who's back into the conversation now, like even he hated being there, but he would still just sit down to eat because it's just all about the atmosphere until he realized that he didn't like the atmosphere and then set off the entire rest of the movie.
The chocolate shop from Chocolat or Willy Wonka's factory? Somehow I don't think Willy Wonka would want to have a restaurant on it.
So I can get out alive.
I don't think Willy Wonka's factory would be like Cadbury World, and that he'd want people to try it while it was there. So
Willy Wonka should set it up like IKEA, where he has like a restaurant in the middle of the factory that you can stop on the tour.
Yes, if we're getting Wonka's factory as a tour, I would say that because there's so many different things.
Yeah, but I bet everything's gonna be marked up. Like I bet like a Wonka bar there would be like $5. It's gonna be like the prices you pay at the movies.
Well, I mean, if we're there around the time everybody else is, he's ready to give the place away to a child, so he may not care.
Yeah, but then runs the question: do I want to eat somewhere that's run by a child? Has a child ever heard of the health department?
That's what the Oompa Loompas are for. They know all the rules. They'll take care of it.
Oh, okay, cool. That won't cause a riot or anything. The Oompa Loompas running the whole thing, and the child just gets to sit on a throne and say yay. That's not going to cause any controversy. Maybe the Oompa Loompas should unionize like the CGI workers.
The Copacabana from Goodfellas or Louis' Italian restaurant from The Godfather?
I'd go to Louis as long as I wasn't on somebody's hit list.
Yeah, I was gonna say that place just seems shady to me, but I know why.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both of them should seem shady, but I don't think anybody died at the Copacabana, right? Outside maybe, but not like in it.
Just don't laugh at a guy in a suit.
True. Watch out for that.
Jack Rabbit Slims from Pulp Fiction or the Double R Diner from Twin Peaks?
I'm going to Jack Rabbit Slims.
That's another thing, though, is you'd think I'd want to say Jack Rabbit Slims, but Jack Rabbit Slims is really chaotic. And the diner's there's literally a video on YouTube that's 8 hours of ambiance of the diner from Twin Peaks, and I've been to that video many times, and it's so relaxing. There's like a wanted poster for Bob that's a little unsettling, but if you just forget that that's there and you forget the rest of the inhabitants of the town, it's great. And I love cherry pie, so I think I might actually say the diner.
In that case, then, the diner from Twin Peaks or Mel's Diner from American Graffiti?
Mel's, yeah. I mean, Mel's is probably more chaotic than the Twin Peaks Diner, but I've just always wanted to step into American Graffiti. If I could Last Action Hero a movie, I would probably do it to American Graffiti.
Mel's Diner from American Graffiti or the Cantina from Star Wars?
Mel's.
Yeah, isn't it? What about scum and villainy? What's the line?
You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Also,
it's a good thing you asked that, because I literally just rewatched all 9 Star Wars episodic movies literally about 2 weeks ago.
To be fair, is the scum and villainy just the Cantina band playing the same song over and over again, though?
I don't know. I just know the Cantina song's my ringtone.
And finally, the Cantina from Star Wars or Ravens from Indiana Jones?
What?
Man, both of them might have to be in the mood to drink.
I don't know that I remember the Indiana Jones place.
Does Ravens serve food? That's all I saw was alcohol. I think that's Marion Ravenswood's place.
Yeah,
I think from
that's
Raiders.
the Nepal Saloon.
Mm-hmm. Man, I think I gotta go to the Cantina because I think I at least saw somebody with space nachos or something.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know this place now. Yeah. Yeah, I'd take this place over the cantina. The cantina is just so shitty.
Right. I'm, I'm moving this here just so mix it up. So Bry's got his Amazon Prime Day Blu-ray list of what he picked up, which was American Sniper, A Bug's Life, Cars, Cinderella Man, Dallas Buyers Club, Django Unchained, Dunkirk, Her, Hugo, How to Train Your Dragon, The Impossible, The Incredibles, The Judge, Kung Fu Panda 2, Licorice Pizza finally, Midnight in Paris, Whiplash, Wild, and the Willy Wonka 40th anniversary box set.
That is a very eclectic group. I was like, you just said American Sniper, A Bug's Life, and I was like, wow, that's eclectic, and it just kept getting
that. Also got Criterions for this month, which is Ingmar Bergman's Shame, Okja, and Drive My Car. Which I've actively seen adverts for that now over here, I guess, which is weird because it's like been on DVD for months.
I was this close to getting the Drive My Car Criterion just a couple weeks ago, but I got something else instead that people will see when the October versus comes around.
Which movie or TV couple represents your relationship goals? Curious Case of Benjamin Button? I don't know.
I'm trying to think of who's a couple that's really lived in already and doesn't get mixed up in like oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? Like contrivances for conflict. Like, is there a couple that's lived in and just chill?
I would say most episodes, Homer and Marge, because that's my answer. I want to be able to do stupid shit and have Susan be like, "Oh, that's okay. You're just a moron."
Like, I want somebody who is like we're getting ready to fight, and then it's just like, do we really waste the energy on this? Let's just not.
Mr. and Mrs. Brown from Paddington.
Yeah.
Thanks, 99p toy, to remind me.
What about Stuart Little's parents? I don't think they ever get in a tiff or anything.
Yeah, I always like that moment. I don't know why this sticks out to me. It's weird to me that you brought that up, and I was never thinking about this, and then it just occurred to me. The moment where she opens the jar for him. There's nothing drawn attention to it. There's no dialogue or anything. It's just something that happens while they're talking about something else, and I just think that's so authentic, I guess. Like they're so weirdly storybook. They're almost weirdly perfect, but then that moment is like so real. Where he can't get it, and then she just gets it in one go. Like, that's just how it goes. I'm still looking at my duty for Doe and Dum, and it's like, I know what's not my relationship goal.
Josephine saying it's Shark Week. I wouldn't have known having watched this wrestling this past few weeks. Dear
right.
God. Dear God. Favorite scene or line from Jaws? Which actor do you think put out the best career? Robert Shaw. There's nothing I've seen him in that I haven't appreciated his performance, even if it's like a below par film.
I was gonna say Richard Dreyfuss had the better career, but Robert Shaw fucking steals the show. He's so good in Jaws.
Yeah, I stand by this. Um, I used to think that Shaw gave the best performance in Jaws until I saw Jaws in a theater. And
Hmm.
I realized the whole time I never stopped watching Hooper.
Hmm.
Hooper drew me in so much in the theater. I was watching Hooper's reaction to the Indianapolis story instead of looking at Shaw the whole time. It was weird. Is it also weird that I think my favorite scene in Jaws is the scene where they're sitting at the table and the kid's mimicking his movements? It has nothing to do with the shark or the horror at all. No, I mean, it's a cliche, but I think my favorite scene in Jaws has got to be when he kills it. I mean, that's just fucking. I want the word on the tip of my tongue is cinema. I don't want to say that in that context, but that's what it is.
I've always liked the Indianapolis scene where they're all sitting at the table showing off scars and everything.
Yeah.
I know I've asked
It's
which
really just it's a treasure trove of scenes. The whole movie. It's really hard to pick.
Josephine's got. I know I've asked which movies would make good theme park rides, but what about TV shows? I love in the Krabbyland episode of SpongeBob when Mr. Krabs passes out the liability waiver so the kids won't sue him for how dangerous it is. I can only imagine the trial for Krabbyland. I'm trying to think.
Maybe like a Wild Thornberries like jungle ride would be cool.
Oh yeah, smashing. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that I guess would make sense and whatever. It's hard to think because, like,
I mean, the obvious answer is probably Star Trek.
yeah, it's weird that obviously most people now just associate that as a film franchise
Hmm.
now, because of course it got its origins then back in the 60s. I'm trying to think of. Just because I like the charm of it, anything in the Xenoverse, I guess. Because Xena and Hercules and the thing with Bruce Campbell were the same universe, right? I can't remember what the Bruce Campbell one was called. Josephine or no? But that sort of thing, like, I was trying to think of something like, not Indiana Jones, like a Romancing the Stone sort of thing, but I can't think of many sort of like adventure style TV series that sort of haven't already been shat on, like Fantasy Island.
I'm just putting this on you guys because I never know what to say with the theme park questions. I don't think I go to enough to have enough of a point of reference of what would work.
Well, that I know it's going back into movies, but something Wes Anderson based might work as a thing, because all the different places that you'd go on the ride if it was just like a sit-on sort of ride through a thing, all the different journeys and whatever. You know, Grand Budapest, all the various places that goes to and everything.
Yeah, and I saw some discussions when we got the full cast list for Asteroid City, and they were talking about like how all these people come back and all these people were like, it's to the point to where if Wes Anderson hasn't called you yet, you probably feel ousted in Hollywood for some reason. And it's like, oh, they must have loved working with it. And then it's like, I think I think it's not just like the idea of like working with him directly. I think people just want to be on his sets just to see them in real life.
AJ, if you had a secret box like in SpongeBob, Josephine says, what would you put in your very own secret box? A secret string of your own?
What would be in the secret compartment is the question. But if I tell you now, it wouldn't be a secret. So, what do we do about this?
Checkmate, Josephine. Checkmate. She also says that January 25th is President Zelensky of Ukraine's birthday, as well as Alicia Keys' Ariana DeBose, and the sister of Timothy Chalamet.
You said President Zelensky, and I was like, Wayne's accomplishments didn't have much. Like, I completely spaced that that's Ukraine's president.
Which also brings us back to Paddington.
Which serious movie or TV show would you like to see an edit with a laugh track? I want a laugh track edit of Hereditary, particularly the dinner scene and Toni Collette banging her head against the door.
Dude, for the pure disturbedness of it, I would kill to watch Joker with a laugh track.
That's kind of layered. Well, there's already, for some reason, the first thing I thought of was The Shining, but you can already find that video on YouTube, and it's great.
Oh man, what if you pick like something like Requiem for a Dream?
Oh my god.
I want to go really dark with this question. I don't know.
We're definitely going to hell after this.
I'm getting layered as all hell. Jack and Jill.
No, we're not going to hell.
Jack and Jill.
We're not going to hell yet.
Jack and Jill, because I'd like to see somebody laughing at
it. AJ, we're not in hell yet. Now we're going to go to hell. Schindler's List with a laugh track.
Fuck.
Now we're going to comfortably go to hell. I'll be driving the bus.
Some scenes come to mind, and I'm just going to stop talking.
On the lighter side, The Departed with the laugh track might be fun.
No, come on. The title of the film says it all. I want a laugh track on silence.
The perfect time to drop the laugh track that has like the person that's really excited in it that woos is when Dignam tells Ellerby she's tired from fucking my father.
And Josephine says, favorite Wizard of Oz character.
Oh, I love me some Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine has always been the Tin Man, but all of them.
The
really.
Scarecrow,
I mean,
he sort of looks like Dick Van Dyke.
I mean, obviously the Wicked Witch is the best villain of all time, but I was actually thinking more of the main four, but yeah. That's the answer either way. If we're doing just the main four, it's all in total, it's the Wicked Witch.
Also, Josephine mentioning 4K release is coming out tomorrow. Eternal Sunshine, The Spotless Mind, Stanley Kubrick's The Killing, Species, Dario Argento's Tenebrae, is it, or Tenebra?
I think it's Tenebrae.
And Out of the Blue from 1980. Ever see Devil in a Blue Dress? That's just got a Criterion release. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, the only thing I remember about it is Don Cheadle's performance, which is really interesting to say in a movie where Denzel is the main character.
Speaking of Denzel as the main character of Fences with the laugh track.
There's actually an interesting story about that.
We might as well go
Where
into it.
there was the whole thing, the I don't have to like you scene, where his son asks, why don't you like me? That scene gets laughs on stage because he's telling his own child, like, who said I had to like you? I don't like you. It's like I have to, like, it's my job to like you. But the way Denzel changed that, because you're at a distance when you're watching it on a stage. So at a distance, it's funny, but when you're in, like, the close-ups that Denzel framed it in for the movie, it's really confronting in a really serious scene. So it's like, it's weird how that can change things. But yeah, so yeah, if you go see Fences, like, on stage, you might actually get a laugh track.
Oh, Bryce says 4K is overrated. Yeah, I'm amazed at, like, how many films are just going straight to 4K rather than actually coming out on Blu-ray. Just standard.
It's way 4K is way overkill to me.
Yeah, if you can see it in clear enough HD anyway on a Blu-ray, it's only worth it if 4K is really going to enhance it compared to a regular one. The only example that I give is the 4K Matrix actually makes it look more like the original Matrix because they degreened it. Every release of the original Matrix after that original DVD release in '99 got mega greened because of the second and third film, and they reverted it back in the 4K remaster.
Maybe I'm really overreaching here, and maybe I'm saying something I shouldn't be saying.
But
But
there's something coming here. There's something coming.
I get the idea of people wanting things like the thing that I don't know that I should say is a part of me, not completely, just a part of me thinks that there's some people that gravitate to 4K out of this bloated sense of, like, self-importance, that they are required the highest quality thing, because I've heard a lot of, it's typically those fucking YouTubers that make this like a life, like, obviously, anybody I've made it a lifestyle, obviously, as well, but the idea of, like, once you get the highest quality physical media, you refuse to get it any other way. Like the way people have, like, in the age of Blu-ray, people that have just shunned DVDs as the worst thing ever, as if they're a form lower than VHS or something. And I just do not get the psychology behind that, apart from I just want the thing that's the highest quality, because it's maybe that's because I've just been watching movies in so many different forms. Like, I still watch VHSs if that's the only thing I have it on. And so that's probably another reason why when I watch 4K just looks off to me. Like, it just, like, everything looks fake and weird.
4K looks too good.
Yeah, like it's good to a fault. like that's. I think Blu-ray is the sweet spot. Like, I don't feel a need to go beyond Blu-ray quality, and anything below Blu-ray quality is not unwatchable to me. There's things that I prefer in, Blu-ray quality than I would lower, but I'm not going to shun all other forms of physical media because they keep upping how supposedly real things look. It just looks too weird to me.
Spencer says thoughts on Orphan and the Orphan first kill coming up in August.
I really like the first movie a lot.
Yeah.
And the twist blew my fucking mind in 2009.
My only issue is, why are we putting the actress's face on an 8-year-old girl and doing it so bad? There's another, that could be a bad CGI contender of the year.
Brother, have you seen Orphan?
I have.
Okay, so you know what the twist is then.
Yeah.
Do you know about Orphan First Kill?
No, but I would imagine it's the story of the first family that took her in or something.
It's a prequel, but it's starring the same actress who is a normal sized person.
Isabella
In the words of
Furman's
Hulk Hogan, yeah,
face
that's
is
not
on
going to
a
work for me, brother.
Isabella Furman's face is on a body that it should not be on. Although...
I had heard they were also. I had heard they were going to do a combination of CGI, but also like perspective. Which, if you're Peter Jackson, you could probably pull off.
Having seen the trailer, no. I mean, just in case you need enough warning, it is out August 19th, but it's simultaneously doing. It's the Peacock shit. It's Firestarter. It's gonna be in cinemas, but it's also gonna be on Paramount Plus immediately. If Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery is even getting a 45-day window, because they're actually that confident it might doing well at the awards, Paramount clearly doesn't. just put it out on demand.
Is doing simultaneous theatrical and streaming releases with Peacock becoming a kiss of death? There was Firestarter, and there was also Halloween Kills did the same thing. And I'm noticing a trend here really fast.
Yeah. I certainly feel so.
Peacock's not very user-friendly, so that's going to already dampen the experience as it is.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Paramount Plus.
I'm going back. I'm watching Monk right now, and I searched the other day. I was like, "Is this on anything but Peacock?" And it's not.
Owen saying, "Don't forget the scene of Superman razzling Chewie." This is why we need to be more on the board with comments, rather than me looking at a wall halfway through and like, what is this in relation to?
This is kind of fun though, trying to put together the mystery of what these comments mean.
Speaking of Zellweger, there we go. That's how far we're going back. A new Bridget Jones movie got announced. What? Another one? God to Google.
Okay, so I feel like what I'm supposed to say here is, oh my god, why? In my opinion, Bridget Jones's Baby was the best one. So I'm actually kind of curious where they're going.
Apparently the idea is it's her grown-up son. And everything.
Already?
I don't know when it's supposed to be set afterwards. I don't know.
So it came out, what, 6 years ago? I think 2016.
2016, yeah. Let me see what the problem is. It's from these publications that I really don't like the Daily Mail and the Sun, where it's like, this could be clickbait. It's not on Variety. Secretly worked on by producers. Her fast growing up son, so it might not be like he's an adult. Of course, that the question is, of course, are we now bringing back Hugh Grant? Because Hugh Grant's career is sort of like having its resurgence. Do we find some excuse to bring him back to have Darcy versus Hugh Grant's character 3? Not Electric Boogaloo, because that's the second one.
The last shot of Bridget Jones's Baby is a teaser to his character. Just feels like they have to.
Yeah. Thoughts on The Lost Weekend, says Spencer, which was the Best Picture winner. I haven't seen it. I enjoyed it when I vaguely remember enjoying it when I did watch it, but that's been a while since I've seen that one.
I think the best, well, it's hard to say. I was gonna say the best thing about it was how Wilder really brings it to life visually, because alcoholism movies are they all kind of have the same beats. but then again, The Lost Weekend is kind of like the grandfather of alcoholism movies, so it kind of feels like it started all the trends. So it's kind of hard. It's not really fair to say that, but yeah, it's an inspired picture winner for what it is too. I'd say especially for
especially where it was, because if that was if the film came out 45, it would have been the ceremony in 46, so it would have been the first one after the war. So. Binaural Dean, I said hello earlier. 2 hours later, we're at your comment. I just watched the original Conjuring and the second one the other day. I think they hold up pretty well still. What are your thoughts on them? I didn't think they should have made one after the first one. Every time you expand that universe with everything that comes off of it, it sort of just cheapens the first one and how sort of unique that actually did feel.
Yeah, I really like the second movie, but the first Conjuring is top tier horror. I don't say that lightly.
It says a lot that nearly all the Conjuring ones in the last couple of years, or the Conjuring inspired ones, have all been very jump scary. Whereas the original Conjuring there might have been one jump scare, maybe, but it was more sort of on the sinister tone and the nature.
Yeah, all the jump scares in the first movie come in late, after everything's been set up.
Based on me watching the first movie, if it tells you anything, the first movie set the precedent that when the second movie came out, I skipped going with the group because I had chest pains earlier that day and I did not want to agitate it.
Right.
That was the precedent that the first one set.
I can think of 2 scenes that would have probably killed you. at least 2.
So that's the respect that I had for the first one.
I think as far as the spin-offs and the sequels, the closest that they've come to the quality of the first movie is Annabelle Creation.
Everything else would be the prequel to everything, right?
Yes. The third, I don't know. I feel disgusted when I talk about the third Conjuring movie. I mean, like, it's not because it's like a dreadful movie, but it's like when you have those first 2 movies and what they had, and even being in the same universe as Annabelle Creation, something that was just so. The word that comes to mind for The Conjuring 3 is pointless. And actually, I kind of got to throw a bone to Annabelle Comes Home, because when I saw Annabelle Comes Home the first time, it was just like, yeah, that's about right. But then I went to see It 2 at the drive-in, and Annabelle Comes Home was the movie playing with it. Annabelle Comes Home in a drive-in with the already 70s aesthetic it has going on actually really improved the movie and like really set a much better tone than a regular theater did, and certainly what watching at home would do.
I'm sorry, I'm having a moment over here. With the titles, with Annabelle Creation, I just picture the entire movie just her being created in the factory, and then once she goes out on the conveyor belt, the credits roll. And then in Annabelle Comes Home, it's about her being at the store. Somebody goes in, buys her. We follow the trip home. When they walk in the door, roll credits.
They took the opening credit sequence of Child's Play 2 and made it 2 movies.
Yes. And then what's the last one called?
The Devil Made Me Do It.
I guess that would be the story of what happens after it gets put on the shelf.
And then apparently coming up at some point we have Nun 2. It's in production supposedly.
AJ looks none too interested.
Well, we already had, like I said, we already had Bale playing Valak in Thor: Love and Thunder. So it's like I feel like we've already gotten it.
Well, considering how it's from the director of Curse of La Llorona and Conjuring 3.
Oh Jesus Christ! Oh, so they're like
rather than any of the good ones.
So this is like self-sabotage. Then that's where they are. Yeah, because David F. Sandberg
it gets better.
Uh-oh.
From the writer of Malignant. Oh no.
I'm still working on how I feel about Malignant, like as a whole.
Isn't everybody? Is it supposed to be serious? Is it supposed to be funny? Is it supposed to be scary? Is it supposed to be for kids?
There's definitely something worthwhile in Malignant.
I don't know what, but yes. 4K releases in August. Michael Mann's Heat, Event Horizon, the first 3 child plays. Okay. Red Dawn, Kubrick's Paths of Glory, and Cat People. Putting out fire with gasoline. Hang on, which Cat People? The original one?
I think it's Schrader's.
Okay. It's the David Bowie one.
Yeah.
It's which chapter is it in chapter 4? When that music kicks in on Inglorious.
Yeah, it's the Revenge of the Giant Face.
Yeah. I can't remember which chapter that was.
I think it's 5.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was 4 or 5.
Because one is Once Upon a Time in Nazi Occupied France. 2 is Inglorious Bastards. 3 is the Shoshana one. That's one I can't remember right away. And then Operation Kino is 4. The Revenge of the Giant Face is 5. What's the middle chapter's name in Bastards? You would know.
Oh man,
I feel like such a bad Tarantino fan right now. I'm wearing my fucking Pulp Fiction shirt and I'm forgetting what Inglorious Bastards is.
It's the chapter. It's the one that's got the name of the theater in it. I think. Because that's the chapter where Zoller and Landa talk her into playing the movie at her cinema, right? The one where like he's outside and she's like fuck off and he just never does fuck off.
Yeah, when she's changed in the marquee.
Yes, it has something to do with the title of the theater, I believe. Is the name of that chapter. Like Cine something. I remember the word Cine in it, I think. Watch me be completely wrong.
Operation Kino.
Operation Kino is the one after that, isn't it? That's the one. Operation Kino is when Fastman.
Yeah, I thought that was after.
It's told in 5 chapters. Once Upon a Time in Nazi-occupied France, The Inglorious Bastards, A German Night in Paris, Operation Kino.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Operation Kino and then Revenge of the Giant Face.
Wow, fuck that up.
Owen for the stop motion stuff, Coraline or Kubo. But also Mary and Max is so underrated. Love that snert. Keeping kayfabe alive, brother. Cassie says Night Before Christmas is also my favourite as well. I do also like Cough Spray. Which is that?
Is that the sequel to Hairspray?
Son of a bitch.
Is that what they use because their voices are all tired from singing? It's comments like that why you guys brought me to these videos.
See, when I search Cough Spray movie, all I get is envy. with Ben Stiller and Jack Black, and also randomly Patch Adams, and what the fuck is this? Dumb and Dumber. And
Maybe
for
because
some
the
reason,
Dumb and
banana always
Dumber
goes outside his mouth.
for some reason, final analysis with Gear and Bassinger or Basinger, an outbreak. What the hell? Okay.
Dumb and Dumber's the only one I remember a relevance for.
Favorite stop motion film from the last decade for Bry is the Shaun the Sheep movie.
Yeah.
Most overrated, Anomalisa.
No. Anomalisa's amazing. Who said that? Was that Brian?
Yes.
Me and Brian are not seeing eye to eye lately.
Lorraine with the best wishes
He
to
did say
Owen.
Shaun the Sheep though, so it's even.
I'm also seeing Whiplash as well from Owen. I'm guessing that's the short film one. Josephine's got fake movie pictures. Home for Diwali, a family celebrates Diwali together. It's a documentary, right? Miming on Bourbon Street, the story of a street performing mime in New Orleans. You don't need to make a street performing mime story. Make the story of that black lady that plays like the clarinet, like she's strangling like 17 cats. It's brilliant. Doreen,
We're
I
doing
think her name is.
Former mime. I want it to be a sequel to Batman '89, where one of the mimes that works with the Joker gets out and makes his own life in New Orleans.
It's funny you went to DC because I was just sitting here thinking, didn't Jesse Eisenberg do like a mime movie recently or something that was like super serious? It was like a wartime movie or
wasn't
something.
that supposed to be on Tatty? Wasn't that supposed to be about Tatty or oh, I can't remember. One of the famous mimes. Jesse Eisenberg mime. Please don't get me bit when he's miming to like songs. Yeah, there we go. Resistance, inspired by the life of Marcel Marceau.
That's right. Yes.
From a year or two back. The Guardian says it's a well-meaning but cliche-ridden biopic. That's annoying. Navahoppy, a love story between two Native American code talkers in World War II, the man being Navajo and the woman being Hopi. That's got potential. The Waddles. Dr. Waddle takes his family on a scientific expedition to Antarctica. Isn't that Mr. Popper's penguins? I don't know.
I thought you said the Waldorfs, that it was going to be an origin story for Waldorf from the balcony and the Muppets.
Black Mambas, a group of girls take part in the Black Mamba anti-poaching unit in South Africa. So I thought it was. I mean, if it was Zack Snyder, it probably would be called Black Mambas, and they'd be like, it basically would be Sucker Punch.
Man, I'm completely wrong on these titles because I thought it was going to be something about Kobe Bryant's daughters.
Oh, I'll have to see how that develops.
At least that one made sense, unlike the Waldorf.
Ancestral Adventure. A Native American man in his trailer goes on an adventure in a fantasy world through different folk tales his relatives taught him about their elders. Isn't that the bit in The Simpsons Isn't that the bit in The Simpsons where Homer just gets talked to by the coyote that's voiced by Johnny Cash?
It might be.
Sakamoto Swim Team. When the children of workers on the 1930s Maui sugar plantation were chased away from playing in the nearby irrigation ditches, the local science teacher Soichi Sakamoto had an idea, offering to take responsibility for the kids and began training them how to swim. As long as there wasn't anything sinister regarding Sakamoto's sort of means, that might be alright.
where I'm getting mixed up, I kind of want to do a segment now sometime where we just get the titles of movies that we have no idea what they're about, try to figure out what they are based on the titles.
That might be a better challenge, Josephine, rather than giving us these fake ones. Giving us, like, you know, just giving us the title, and then as a group we have to try and come up with the synopsis on our own. Keep that in mind for next time around in a couple of weeks. Spencer says, where do you guys think Jordan Peele should go next, as he's had 3 good to great movies, you know, in a row now?
What's great about him is how hard that is to answer, because every new direction he's taken has been so unpredictable from the last.
I have an idea.
Considering the Key and Peele stuff and everything, and we know that he is sort of good, I would like to see like a proper sort of black comedy, rather than a black comedy that's sort of tinged with sci-fi, like arguably everything has been so far.
If Jordan Peele stays on the creepy movie route, I would totally watch a movie where Jordan Peele has something creepy taking place at like a circus.
I don't know how to respond to that, because it's something that I've alluded to before about how I don't, you weren't here for that whole thing, brother, but I wrote a script that's probably unusable now because of a certain movie that came out last year. And I've been writing a horror thing for like the last decade. And when I saw the first teaser poster for Nope, and we just saw the flags coming out of the cloud, I was kind of afraid we were going in the direction of what you're talking about now, which would be the direction the script I've been working on for a decade is. And I was so relieved when I found out what Nope actually was. So do me a favor and keep Peele away from circuses and stuff like that.
Now that I realise that was the original teaser poster, does that spoil the ending somewhat?
Have you seen it?
I have officially not come out here yet. It comes out next week. We had to suffer with what the shit was it? Where the Crawdads Sing. I heard somebody at the cinema today, because I went to see something good, which is the National Theatre rebroadcast of Prima Facie, or however you pronounce it. Jodie Comer's like one-woman play, which is like, this is what you should have done, Ridley. I know it's, you know, she does good shit. But somebody said, I've heard good things about it. All I've heard about Where the Crawdads Sing is, 1, the film is pretty crap, and 2, the author of the book might have killed her husband.
Oh, that's news to me.
That's the big thing. It's like the new one review I saw said the thing about the author killing her husband is more interesting than the film.
especially given the story.
Yeah, that's exactly why. You know, it's like inspired by true events.
Wow. That's wild. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what's spoilery about Nope, but the thing that surprised me about Nope was that it's not really much else from what people already think it is. Like, they're acting like there's a big shrouded secret about it.
I just wondered with the poster being how you said, whether said things were attached to a certain thing that led to the denouement. To not give anything away.
I see what you mean now. And yeah.
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 That's what I'm saying. Lorraine says the humans annoyed me so much. It's such a cliche to bring up 9/11 in a New York-based story. They couldn't come up with anything else.
I'm trying to remember the context on this one.
That's how memorable the Humans was then. Richard Jenkins. What? The 9/11 was in the film. Oh, Josephine says, just so you know, I'm almost done with season 4, so I haven't got to the new season of Better Call Saul yet. No spoilers.
I haven't passed season 3 yet. I've been just kind of waiting for it to end, and then I was
Yeah.
just gonna go from the beginning and go all the way through.
To be fair, I haven't seen it yet. I'm just looking at people doing YouTube recaps of what's happened, and then when it eventually is ready on Amazon on Prime Day, like that's how I got the last series cheap, series 5.
Yeah, there's an ongoing YouTube problem. I know there's many, but one in particular is a show coming out, and then it's like, who's going to be the fastest person to put out a spoilery thumbnail and get it on everybody's front page?
Oh, I've never seen a spoilery thumbnail from the said person. It's just good to sort of catch up with it, because I don't know whether it's even... I think over here it's Netflix only because of the international distribution rights, and I ain't buying that. I've already got Amazon. I'm already going to have to deal with God knows how many weeks of the Rings of Power. We'll get to that.
Yeah. I know a few things about Better Call Saul that I shouldn't yet because of thumbnails that have shown up on my front page.
All right.
And it's like, that's... Just fuck you if you do that.
I think we should focus more on getting those videos down rather than, ones that just featured the DVD cover for Beverly Hills Cop.
Josephine says, all I will say is I don't think I've ever rooted for a TV couple any more than I have for Jim and Kimmy throughout my years of watching TV. I have literally doing online tarot readings to get an answer. At first I felt weird rooting for them because of a dark Breaking Bad universe, but it turns out there's a lot of people online who ship them too.
Well, there's also people that worship Walter White, and like remember that story where somebody actually held a funeral for Walter White, like a real one.
Spencer seems to be going down Brian territory here. If I wanted to make a movie to annoy AJ, it would be... God damn it, I need to move that screen over so I can see the reactions while I'm reading this out. It would be directed by Dinesh D'Souza, featuring Alex Pettifer, Tiffany Haddish, and Melissa McCarthy, and it'd be a 3-hour period drama.
Don't forget to put Ryan Reynolds in there doing his shtick in the period drama.
Okay, so let's imagine what this looks like. So it's gonna be a faux documentary because it's D'Souza, which means he's gonna get a lot of screen time. And
it'd be a 3-hour documentary of his true portrait. I know it's not period, but I guess technically anything that's happened in history would be period. At this rate and age, it'd be Dinesh D'Souza doing the true heroes of January 6th. That's how he'd spin it, probably.
It's chilling how real that sounds.
Yes. That's why I went for it, because it just seems like yes, just very yes. Costume.
I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised Melissa McCarthy hasn't done like an Oscar bait period piece yet, like a way back period piece.
She's too happy with her husband doing crap that's on Netflix, I guess.
As long as the two of them are happy, nobody else will be while they're making movies.
Thoughts on the Magnificent Ambersons? Really, dare I say, probably Orson's best film as director?
I really like. It's not as. I don't know, it's weird to say a movie is epic feeling when it's like an hour and 29 minutes, like The Magnificent Ambersons is, but something that kind of feels more smaller scale that I love of his is The Stranger,
Yeah.
which might be my favorite movie of his, but Ambersons is really great. Ambersons is basically the Wells movie for people that didn't take to Citizen Kane.
I'm trying to see whether the original version does exist. Because it says on Wikipedia that the running time is 88 minutes, but the preview version was 131, and the original version was 148.
Yeah, I think I've only ever seen short versions. I wasn't sure if those were forever lost or what.
Oh yeah, the negatives for the excise portions were later destroyed to free up vault space.
That's depressing.
A documentary team backed by Turner Classic Movies plans a search for the rough cut. Apparently, but that's all as long as the right holders allow it. I'm trying to remember whether there was a film. Oh no, that was a different one. The movie about Orson Welles' lost film or whatever. The Eyes of Orson Welles.
Hmm.
And then the actual film that did eventually come out. Jimmy McGill and Saul Goodman sip and snack with his juices. See, Rick. We've also got Rick Dalton sip and snack. Would that be just different flavors of dog food for the dog? What's the dog think of this dog food?
There'd be a lot of alcohol involved.
Speaking of alcohol, Owen's thing for sip and snack would be Miles from Sideways.
Oh, of course. Just no Merlot, of course.
So Spencer's brought up the other thing that I did want to talk about, which means I have to scroll through the Discussing Film Twitter account as to everything important that showed up that AJ heard of but wouldn't have seen trailers for. The teaser for John Wick 4 looks great, including somebody getting blasted with a flare gun or something, like right in their face. John Wick is taking no prisoners, that's all I'm saying.
Billy Zane and Vaughn style.
Everybody's gonna die. Spider-Man freshman year. Oh, this is all in weird orders. That's got potential for Disney Plus, but then there's so much on Disney Plus that I think that is going to become convoluted and everything. The Dungeons and Dragons stuff looks promising. I'm still trying to work out whether Hugh Grant's rogue is actually the villain or whether he's going to become a supporting character in it. Oh, the Barbie film wrapped filming this week, and will be coming out July next year. Teen Wolf the movie was apparently in Hall H or whatever. Okay. DC's currently releasing Dark Crisis event will be renamed to Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths from issue 4 onwards, acting as a direct sequel to the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. Oh, it wasn't selling well enough, so they've had to change the name. Great. That's what we've established. I'm trying to find a first teaser for National Treasure: Edge of History for Disney Plus, which is only about 17 seconds, so that epitomizes teaser apparently. Jamie Lee Curtis will star in a Marvel film, but they're going to stick dots all over her and make her act in a warehouse somewhere by herself. Oof. Which is the Wheel of Time? I know it's Amazon, but is that like...
It's that one that's got Rosamund Pike in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Apparently it's been renewed for season 3. I don't think season 1's even come out yet, has it? Or... No, it has, I think.
Yeah, I think the rolling stock I've seen at theaters and stuff was for season 2.
Oh, apparently they actually did a Comic-Con had a full-on premiere of Prey. That's interesting because, of course, Prey is also getting a cinema release as well as being dumped on Hulu on the same day, which leaves me a little concerned.
Yeah, I think is it the same day as Bullet Train? It's going to Hulu?
Yeah, August 5th. So a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Brother, you mentioned National Treasure earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Are you... A lot of the stuff I've seen is saying that people are against having National Treasure without Cage because Cage is the appeal. Are you on that train also, or do you think whatever they're doing could work out?
The ludicrous concept only works with Cage.
Because you have to have somebody that's going to sell something like that.
Yes.
Considering all the furore over the fan film of Uncharted, what if Nicolas Cage was replaced by Nathan Fillion? Would that be a good alternative?
No, if you were going to replace Nicolas Cage with anybody, you'd have to replace him with 90s Brendan Fraser.
That's fair. Nicholas Winding Refn will return with Copenhagen Cowboy, a thrill-inducing neon-drenched noir series through Copenhagen's criminal netherworld. Spike Jonze working on an untitled series. Sarah Snook alongside Hugh Jackman in Koala Man. Of course it's from Justin Roiland. Of course it is. Disney in talks to try and get the streaming rights for Doctor Who for Disney Plus. Okay, that's... Oh, it was Willem Dafoe's birthday on Friday. Hell yeah. That's all that needs to be said. Oh! Jaws will be released in IMAX on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, when I saw Nope, there was a full trailer for Jaws in IMAX, and when I saw Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, there was a full trailer for E.T. in IMAX.
Oh, okay.
Is Spielberg doing just the whole thing here?
Everything's going to be in IMAX, and then the Fablemans will be just in sort of like SD. We won't even like...
Well, I'm definitely skipping Jaws in IMAX because I'll be at the beach Labor Day weekend, and I don't need that.
Billy Magnuson.
Because E.T. makes sense because it has an anniversary. This Jaws kind of caught me off guard. Like, it's kind of random.
Well, was Jaws 77?
You don't think like the 47th anniversary is important?
Billy Magnuson's been cast alongside... Oh, go ahead.
It was The Jerk. The Jerk has that DVD release that's like the 26th anniversary or something.
Billy Magnuson's been cast alongside Gina Rodriguez and Zachary Levi in the Spy Kids reboot for Netflix. You don't... not Netflix. You... Yeah. No.
What?
No.
Billy Magnuson's one of those people that I feel like he can be in something shit and bring dignity to it. So that might be a good call for them. I don't know if it's a good call for him, but it's a good call for them.
Oh shit. Bill Murray will not be in Asteroid City because he tested positive for COVID shortly before the movie began filming.
That's going to be weird. Yeah, you can have all those people in it. It's not going to feel like a Wes Anderson movie now. And by the way, wasn't Bill Murray the one that announced that the title was Asteroid City?
I think so, yeah. Amanda Stenberg's been officially cast as the lead in Star Wars The Acolyte. Oh, no! Zach Galligan will return to the Gremlins franchise along with Sandra Oh, Randall Park, George Takei, and Bowen Yang in guest voice roles for Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai. For somebody. I don't know where that is. What streaming service that's going to be on.
So Gremlins 3 always sounded like why would you do that thing? But the last time, unless something's really changed, which is totally possible, but the last time I heard news about Gremlins 3, Chris Columbus was still writing it. Is that still the case?
Hang on, let me look at this up. Because I was not aware that Gremlin Secrets of the Mogwai existed. It's just weird that we bring it up with Joe Dante and then it's like, nope, it's there. HBO Max.
This might be
next year.
This might be some. Is this something else in Gremlins 3? Actually, come to think of it, these might be two different things.
It's 10 episodes, but will serve as a prequel to Gremlins and Gremlins: The New Batch, set in 1920s Shanghai, about how Sam Wing, a 10-year-old kid, meets Gizmo. Developed by Sei Chun, who don't know what else they've worked on. I'll have a quick look. Oh, it apparently will get some television airing because it will also be on Cartoon Network as part of their ACME night block. What else they worked on? Kashmir Mafia, Once Upon a Time, Gotham, Little America. Oh, and Boots Riley's new series, apparently, that's just going under the working title I'm a Virgo. Well, considering Sorry to Bother You, I'm already intrigued.
It's just I'm wondering how you top Sorry to Bother You, or if he's even gonna try to top it as far as like weird.
Well, he's in it as well, apparently, as this time around as well. So
I'm assuming he hasn't recast Army Hammer though. After Sorry. Even though Army Hammer was perfectly cast in Sorry to Bother You, by the way.
I Am Groot coming August 10th. I guess the big thing is season 2 of What If basically includes some of the stuff that would have been in season 1, but because of COVID, it just wasn't able to be put together, so it got shifted over into season 2.
Yeah, brother, you said you watched a lot of the. I know you've watched a lot of the Marvel stuff. We've talked about it on video and otherwise. Did you ever end up going into What If?
I watched the first episode and that was it.
I also watched the first episode. Did you cringe for a straight half an hour like I did, or did we have a different experience?
I don't really remember a lot of it.
That's interesting because the first episode's the Captain Carter one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, she's in multiple episodes of season 2. So if you don't like the character, oof. I'm trying to work out whether AJ's all right because he's just leaning there, permanently frozen. Oh no, he's moved.
Yeah, because to me, I was moving and you were frozen.
Oh right. It was just like there. It was like hand up, like hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, it was memories of the first episode of What If. Maybe Captain Tom.
Marvel Zombies will be TV MA, apparently. So it will be, but that won't be till 2024. So that's nice. Apparently, X-Men '97 is going to follow up exactly where the original animated series left off. That'll be coming this time next year, apparently. So yeah, the full episode that apparently they showed of the season 2 of What If is what if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper. I'm trying to remember what the Hydra Stomper is.
Yeah, going back, isn't it against the rules for X-Men to have a coherent timeline? That's the vibe I've gotten over the years.
Also, the other interesting thing that they said as well is the Captain Carter in What If is different to the multiverse one because, quote, our Captain Carter would have kicked Wanda's ass. You see
I watched
what
that
you
movie.
did.
There was no one kicking Wanda's ass in that movie.
Jordan Peele says the first cut of Nope was 3 hours and 45 minutes.
How does this happen to everybody? How does everybody have a 4-hour cut of their movie?
Paul Dano talking about his Batman spin-off, Riddler Year 1, because he did co-write. No, actually, I think he just wrote it himself. I guess he's following the angle of Keanu Reeves. Although Keanu Reeves, I'm pretty sure, co-wrote it instead. Mattson Tomlin is writing the script for the film adaptation, apparently. Listing the Matrix Tree and Life and the Foundation the Fountain as inspirations. Okay. I mean, that does make sense with... Oh, and Berserker will have a 2-season anime in Netflix. Okay, that makes sense. So the big thing that was brought up in chat as I scroll through, like, other stuff. Alan Tudyk as Optimus Prime? Yes! A lot of things are here. The comment, going back to chat 15 years ago, Spencer says on thoughts on Phase 4, given that... I love the fact that I think they realised that they couldn't drag it out anymore and there's been a lot of like disappointment. So they're like cutting off Phase 4 from Wakanda Forever now, and then we start with new phases.
The only thing that didn't work, and my brother and I have now had this conversation. The only thing about Phase 4 that really does.
Oh. Tension mountain.
That was Disney cutting him off.
Well, hold on. Are we back?
Yeah.
The only movie that hasn't worked for me as far as Phase 4 is Love and Thunder. I was really into the TV stuff for a while there, and then I bashed the same episode every time I get the chance. Around the time of the 3rd episode of Loki, something has happened. Well, no, Hawkeye was in between.
I was gonna say watch it with Hawkeye.
Yeah. But I've made it clear. We never did that video, and I don't think we need to at this point. Everybody went crazy for it. Moon Knight didn't work for me much at all. As far as Multiverse of Madness, it was the second half that I really liked. I do think the first half was kind of like what most people criticize Marvel for, being in the light, but I feel like the second half really, when Raimi got to be Raimi, is when that movie really took off.
Yeah.
What else is in Phase 4?
Black Widow.
Eternals.
Shang-Chi, Eternals.
I'll stick up for Shang-Chi every day of my life. I love Shang-Chi.
And I had no beef with Black Widow. Yeah.
I thought the CGI in the last third really made it suffer. Like that was way too extravagant, like an Act 3.
And then Eternals had a lot of issues. Eternals wasn't as excruciating as I had prepared myself for. But it's, yeah. It is underwhelming as a whole when you look at it like that.
So I can't play it because it will play the audio on the stream. But it's just August 26th on FXX. You might have to pay attention. Little Demon, starring Sam Richardson, Patrick Wilson, Will Jackson Harper, Dave Bautista, Lucy DeVito, Danny DeVito, Aubrey Plaza, and then two names that I never thought I'd see next to each other: Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mel Brooks.
And what is that?
Little Demon, coming to FXX August 25th, so about a month away today. Or something. Chad Stahelski's trying to get his Highlander film with Henry Cavill off the ground, but I guess nobody's...
The internet is going to obsess over that movie, but that sounds boring as shit to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, and Andrew Stanton revealed the rejected John Carter sequels. Wow. So there actually was that. I guess that was just a big sort of behind the scenes thing and whatever. Tim Miller says one of the proudest moments of his life and when the first footage for Deadpool premiered and the crowd wanted it to be played again. John Wick 4 will be in Japan, Jordan, Berlin, France, and America. So we're travel hopping. Also, it seems to be unofficially subtitled Baba Yaga. Which, if you know Baba Yaga, people are gonna die. Well, of course, people are gonna die. I've seen it in the trailer. He gets a flare to the face. I'm pretty sure he don't survive. Just a guess. I'm unsure what to think about all the stuff with Black Adam. They're really trying to emphasize that it's an origin story. They don't need Shazam or Superman in it, which, considering the attires and everything, is a bit surprising. You know, I mean, the one big thing that was brought up is somebody asked Dwayne which Superman he'd like to take on, and his answer was depends who's playing Superman, because as it turns out, Dwayne's ex-wife is basically Henry's agent. So, and it seems to be that DC don't want anything to do with Cavill anymore because it's got too much ties to Snyder, which is interesting because they still are adamant in doing everything with Ezra Miller in The Flash, although that was never brought up at the panel. I can't think why.
If Ezra Miller ruins Michael Keaton's return as Batman, I will lose my shit. I will lose it like I lose my car keys.
Apparently there are 17 dragons in House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones prequel. And George R.R. Martin somehow seen 9 of the 10 episodes. Oh, of course, they asked Matt Smith about Morbius in relation to The Thing. Of course they did. Oh, God, yeah, that's one thing that disturbed me. Ethan Hawke is going to be playing Batman in Batwheels, the animated series, which basically has all the Bat vehicles, including Robin's vehicle, being able to talk like sort of Thomas the Tank Engine, but like when I saw it and like I was like, this is a thing that exists.
Yeah, it's like Cars for the DC universe.
Yes, that's why I'm worried.
Hmm.
Fuck.
I mean, I think it'll be fine for a kids show. I mean, any kid show that comes out that is trying to introduce children to comics, I'm gonna back up.
Yeah, true.
I
Unless they
mean,
read the
whether
comics
no
and
matter how
realise that
silly.
they're
I mean,
better.
I got into the comics because of the Adam West version, and I still think Michael Keaton's the best Batman. So how you're introduced doesn't necessarily dictate the direction you're going to feel.
So, all 3 seasons of the Orville will be on Disney Plus August 10th. As I try and get to the Marvel lineup of everything. God damn it. Let's get through because I'm trying to get the list of everything. Yeah, I don't think we missed anything. I guess the only stuff we did miss from Phase 4. Sorry it took that long, guys. WandaVision and Captain America and Winter Soldier. That was the other phase. That was right at the start of Phase 4.
Which those were great until the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So
I don't even think the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier is bad. I just think it's kind of a letdown from the direction it seemed like it was going.
the trailer for Wakanda Forever looked very impressive, and it's like really got the.
I kind of feel that way about WandaVision though.
Mhm. The problem is, like, everything that happens in WandaVision sort of gets cheapened because it doesn't really get brought up in Multiverse of Madness, which, when it's all supposed to be tied together and like it's supposed to be part of the MCU, it doesn't really make sense.
I would disagree. I think WandaVision explains Wanda's entire motive for Multiverse of Madness. I think without WandaVision, you'd have no clue why Wanda was healed.
Yeah, but I think some of the motivations she has in WandaVision don't carry over into Multiverse of Madness. That's the issue. Like, some of the beliefs that she has in that get warped and twisted with no explanation as to why they get warped and twisted, really.
Because Westview failed. Westview failed and she got found out, so she had to go bigger.
So yeah, Phase 5, if I get the picture up, starts off with Quantumania, the Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel. Then at some point in the spring will be the Secret Invasion series. May will be Guardians 3. Then somehow these are going to cross over for sure. It just says summer is Echo, which is, we saw her in Hawkeye, I think.
Yeah.
That'll be roughly at the same time as Loki season 2. Meanwhile, all that, July will have the Marvels film come out. Then Ironheart will be coming as a Disney Plus series in the fall. The Blade film's coming out November 2023. With Agatha Coven of Chaos coming, I guess, Christmas time-ish. But it does say 23 into 24. Then the big one that apparently a lot of people marked out for in Hall H, the 18-episode season of Daredevil Born Again, with Cox and D'Onofrio reprising their roles. Which that would be that's the longest series, right? Because I think 10 episodes maybe for WandaVision. Was there 10 for WandaVision or 8?
There was 9.
Okay, I was in between the two. So 18 will be like the longest, but then of course if it's basically running off the same the network sort of style thing that the original series was, which was that like a 23, like a traditional release, or
For which one?
for the original Daredevil series from Netflix?
Oh, on Netflix. I want to say it was 12.
Oh, so 18 will be longer than that then. Okay.
I believe those seasons were 12 episodes.
And then we culminate Phase 5 with Captain America: New World Order. Please let it go black and white. Um,
That's the one I'm looking forward to because historically, every Captain America movie's job has been to advance the story, and I'm ready to advance. I'm ready to move on.
And then the other thing that apparently is on, I think it's a film for Phase 5, but it isn't. I don't really know much about it. Oh, I see. The Thunderbolts. The
That's something to
anti-hero
do with
team.
that was set up at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier with Baron Zemo.
But that might be actually coming out as a movie rather than a series.
Which I'm wondering how that's going to go because I could be wrong. I don't know Marvel as well as DC, but I'm pretty sure it's called Thunderbolts because of William Hurt's character.
Right. She-Hulk's described as Marvel's first 30-minute TV comedy. Okay. Considering it's got the act... I mean, there is some humorous stuff in the trailer. And the fact... Just because they call it She-Hulk Attorney at Law, I'm just thinking Harvey Birdman.
I'm going to... Just to be an asshole, I'm going to dispute the 30-minute comedy because that was the first 2 episodes of WandaVision.
Wow!
Well, it doesn't seem very productive for them to advertise something as a comedy because pretty much all Marvel properties are just 80% comedy anyway. Unless you think that number's too big.
Okay, MODOK is definitely in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, apparently. And Bill Murray. Hopefully he's just as himself, again. Like in... I don't want to see Bill Murray as MODOK, please. Please. I just got that weird sense because they're put next to each other. Also, it's weird. Maria Bakalova. You know, Borat. I don't know what... Has she done anything since? Of note?
Do you consider The Bubble of note?
She was in that?
She's gonna be in Bodies.
Right. She's going to be voicing Cosmo the Superdog in Guardians 3. And maybe starring as well. And then Phase 6 will start with Fantastic Four. And then they're doing it again. Avengers the Kang Dynasty on May the 5th, 2025. With Secret Wars on November the 8th. And that will apparently end Phase 6. Which will be funny, because that means that Phase 6 is only going to last a year. Because if Fantastic Four is November 2024, and the second Avengers film is 25, they're going to have to cram it all into a year as part of the multiverse saga. Son of a bitch. I don't know what, you know. I'm interested. Apparently, most of this was supposed to be saved for Disney, plus what they call it, D23, in a month or so's time. But because trademarks got leaked, they went fuck it. But yeah, I'm more hopeful for Phase 5 and 6. Then again, it depends who directs them and who's involved. Right, back to the questions. Quickfire. Thoughts on King of Queens? It's got Kevin James. No.
I've never really watched it before.
I've seen bits and pieces. I don't think it's anything special. It's fine. It's serviceable. Like, if there's nothing else on, I'll leave it on the channel, but I'm not seeking it out.
Thanks for that question, Binaural Dean. Spencer says, favourite miniseries in the last 10 years or so? Ooh.
WandaVision.
Probably The White Lotus?
See, I'm trying to think of something that is definitively miniseries that isn't getting a sequel. And the problem is there ain't too much of that about.
Yeah, if you had asked me like 5 years ago, I would have probably said Big Little Lies.
As it stands at the minute, because the second one hasn't come out, even though I do know it's coming, I would put Severance up there. I do like what Ben Stiller did with that. Brian mentioning about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are now officially married. It's all happened.
Time to watch Geely in Celebration and rediscover it as an overlooked cult gem or whatever it is people do when they rediscover things.
Josephine says when we brought up Dreamer, she was thinking of Racing Stripes.
Oh my god.
That's a bit different.
At first I thought of My Friend Flicka, but
So, Chris, I've asked the other guys this question before, but which R-rated movies do you think should have been PG-13 and vice versa?
I'll start with the vice versa. I think we need a rated R Batman movie and not Snyder Cut. I mean, like a real one. As far as R-rated movies that should have been PG-13, that's a little bit tougher. I'm honestly surprised to sell more tickets they didn't do it with The Matrix.
I'm pretty positive. When we were asked before, The Matrix was my answer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I recently read Bob Odenkirk's memoir, comedy drama. Is that the name of the thing? That's why I was getting confused. It was great because of his heart attack recovery. I'd love to see him do an afterlife movie in the vein of Defending Your Life. Wouldn't that be basically Nobody? Spencer says after Firestarter versus Carrie, then the next one I've got to watch is Heathers versus Jawbreakers. And he wants a bit of idea as to what Jawbreakers is about.
It's very similar to. I mean, the quality is significantly lower. You'll learn, but
I just watched it a couple weeks ago. I would say Jawbreaker is a combination of Heathers and Mean Girls.
Yeah, it's another one of those. I feel like the getting away with murder thing is its own like subgenre. So I would just say it's one of those getting away with murder movies. Though it's an accidental. Well.
So hopefully Spencer's watching all these on archive or whatever, because Spencer's rewatching Motherless Brooklyn at the minute.
Interesting. I can't imagine myself seeing Motherless Brooklyn more than once.
AJ, I know you don't watch trailers, but thoughts on the fact that Scoot McNairy is in the Lyle Lyle Crocodile movie?
I love that. I really love anything that Scoot McNairy is involved in, come to think of it. Because even if it's something shit, he's going to elevate it. So.
Which film do you think MGM will prioritise more come award season, Till or Women Talking? Josephine asks.
Women Talking is going to have name recognition, but Till's going to have the subject matter. But Women Talking has subject matter and name value. So I think that they'd have a better. They certainly have a better shot with Women Talking, I would think. With Till could probably. I was gonna say Till would be a Selma and basically get like nothing more than a picture nomination. But it does. I suppose it would have a good shot in actress. But I think they'd have a better shot with Women Talking for sure. I think.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people are dreading Till because you already know it's going to be emotionally draining.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of people like there might be like there. I think this happened with 12 Years a Slave. A lot of people in the anonymous ballots came out and said that they just skipped it because they didn't want the distress of a movie like that. Especially when you already know the story. And the developments recently that have happened with that story.
I honestly think they might actually go with both, because I think, you know, of course, now that Amazon owns MGM, that's sort of like their sort of big push to try and actually get award contenders. Because the only stuff out of MGM we've had outside of Bond is, I mean, the not Bond one, the what the hell was it called? The one with what's her name in? I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Let's say if I can get the name of the person, I might have.
Oh, I'm trying to remember her name as well. Oh, what's that? No, I don't want House of Gucci. I want the other one. List of MGM films. I know it was in the last couple of years because it was pandemic time. Apparently it wasn't. It was last year. Can I get list of films from 2010 to 2019, please? Is there not James Bond one?
Well, guys, I have to hop off here.
No problem.
But for everybody that Owen always asks about social media, my Instagram is back up. So you can find me on Instagram at Chris Hunts Toys. So it's super simple. And then the Ethan Page video came out today. Unfortunately, I was not in it. But I will be going back to Toy Ohio in October, so maybe then. But
Nice.
Everybody have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Movie Club.
Mask of the Phantasm is coming. Yes. Where the hell is it? Rhythm section. That one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was like one of the last movies I saw before everything shut down, I think.
Yeah, probably the same for me. Also, I like the fact that's listed as 22. Oh, I see, because Paramount distributed it. It actually was nothing to do with MGM. Okay. I thought it was over here. Unless, again, it was only UK that it was distributed just by MGM. I can't remember. Yeah, Bri does say, in terms of Till and Women Talking, I think Women Talking, it's ironic that Brad Pitt, Dee Gardner, and Jeremy Kleiner are producers on not just that, but also She Said, and Frances McDormand's also a producer on Women Talking as well. So, you know, if we're just going on sort of like producers,
yeah,
that does probably have the more heavyweight producers on it. Another random, as we close this up for eventually. Josephine's got a couple of restaurants. The restaurant from Boiling Point or Dorsia from American Psycho?
I want to say it's interesting because the restaurant from Boiling Point feels very hectic, but then again, was that the kitchen by itself, or was it also the dining room was kind of hectic also, but then it's like Dorsia is just populated with sociopaths. probably. I'll say Dorsia. It's quieter. They may all be crazy, but it's quieter, which suits me.
I am intrigued as well if I can get the list of it up, just because it came across my head just then, because it seems somewhat similar to Boiling Point. Whether the restaurant from the menu is going to crop up in these from time to time. Boy, that looks interesting. November 18th, allegedly. Also, it is going to be in theatres. I just wondered whether they were going to try and stick that on Disney Plus or Hulu or whatever they want to call it at this time of year. Cassie says, I'm going to Louise because I love Italian pizza, and also it's the name of a restaurant at Universal Orlando. Mel's because during the Halloween Horror Nights I did anything to Mel's Diner, and that'd be fun. And then Cantina. Josephine, when I hear the words cherry pie, I think of Twin Peaks as in SpongeBob. Cherry pie, where'd you get that? I found it. We'll go find it again. Twin Peaks and SpongeBob just got a very little 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. How about a Breaking Bad ride with an RV?
I could see, because that RV went through some shit.
Cassie says, I'd love it if they had the Stranger Things house that they had in 2018 as a permanent attraction. Other than that, I can't think of any other TV shows that I want to see as a theme park. Speaking of Breaking Bad, there's funny edits of Breaking Bad with a laugh track. How about a laugh track for films of Robert Eggers?
Oh my god.
The Witch. La 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 la.
The would be great. The Lighthouse doesn't need a laugh track because I give it one myself when I watch the Lighthouse.
It would make sense.
And I mean that, by the way, in the best possible way, because the Lighthouse is hilarious intentionally. You can tell.
To some extent, I see Josephine's point here as well. It sort of would make sense for a laugh track for Parasite.
Yeah.
Because there are some things that work there. Clockwork Orange laugh track. To some extent.
I was just thinking about those edits, like when the Jack and Jill trailer came out and everybody realized it was bad, so everybody was editing. So they had like George C. Scott and Hardcore watching the Jack and Jill trailer and freaking out, and then they had Alex pinned down with his eyes open watching the Jack and Jill trailer and screaming, and that's just what that makes me think of.
I still use regular DVDs, AJ, that I rent from the library. That's the way. Another round sort of broke the alcoholism movie formula. Yeah, that's probably fair. Speaking of Tarantino, he and his wife just had another kid. Oh, so when Cassie said cough syrup, that apparently was autocorrect for corpse bride.
That was a whole conversation we had.
Yes.
Wow.
But I love the fact that cough syrup gives us blooming... What was it? Final Judgment from Kim Basinger and Richard Gere? Like, what?
Final analysis.
Final analysis, there it is. And final comments, finally. I'd like to see Jordan Peele do something possibly in the vein of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World or Rat Race. How would you do that, Dark? I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would it just be pure comedy? Because I just can't. I don't know that Peele could stray away from weird, even if he wanted to.
If that's the case, would it be more like akin to Smoking Aces? Because I'm pretty sure practically everyone dies in Smoking Aces, right?
What was that?
Not Smoking Aces. What's the one that had like? It was Smoking Aces, wasn't it? With like the bunch of people that like end up dead at the end. Like they're all introduced. It's sort of like Bullet Train
Yeah.
in that there's like a load of hitmen and most of them are going to end up dead.
Yeah, quite a few of them do. It's actually, and it's throughout them too. Like the whole thing where they build up Ben Affleck and Peter Berg at the very beginning, and then they just get blown away by Chris Pine, like immediately.
And Josephine also says maybe an Afterlife movie with Jordan Peele directing.
That is something I'd want to see. I want to see what the hell his mind would conjure with the afterlife. Because I typically say I find afterlife movies comforting. I'll bet that would be the complete opposite, you know. But I'd still be interested.
So we're finally there. We're done. Thank you for watching this long-winded shit. I've got to work out where to cut this down in 2 weeks' time, rather than as long as we did. But we got through a lot. It saves then having to. I guess we might talk about the the official runners if they get revealed by the time we do this again in a couple of weeks for the festivals. We'll have to see, because I don't know how keen they are to let slip. Then again, with Cannes we know months ahead, so the fact that we're only a month away from Venice and Toronto and we still don't know is a bit sort of surprising. Or are they dealing with that many movies that they're struggling to work out where to put it in the schedule, I guess. So that's your lot for this one. Check out all the other content here on the channel and everything. The archives of Sips and Snacks, snack stashes. I've got a few that I can line up and everything. AJ's movie reviews, I'm guessing. Have we already got a Nope review up? I haven't checked the channel.
Yeah, it's Nope, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, and On the Count of Three are all in one video.
Right. And then I'm trying to think, next week I guess will be Where the Crawdads Sing.
It was the previous week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you get an early I thought it was coming out last. I thought it came out next week. Hang on, 2022 in American film.
It was the 15th when we got it.
Oh, I thought we got it before you. I thought that was the concern. We could warn you. What's the big film? Oh, DC League of Super Pets. Of course. And 13 Lives from Ron Howard. Before we get to, I guess, Summer Craziness. To some extent.
Yeah, because this coming Friday's reviews will start with The Gray Man.
Oh,
and
of course, yeah, because of that going up on the Netflix.
And then the week after The Gray Man will be Bullet Train. And everything in between.
Yeah, Bodies. Netflix's Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. Why did we want that? And then I guess Prey as well, probably.
Yeah, Prey should be on the Bullet Train video, I think.
Yeah.
So what usually happens is I'll get up early and watch Prey on Hulu, and then go to Bullet Train, and then the video will happen.
Seems alright. So you can find me on Twitter at AshIsMyNameUK. AJ cannot be filmed on social media, and just like Keith Richards, cannot be killed via conventional weapons. I was going to make a joke about Bill Murray, but he did get killed in Zombieland, so sad face. So we'll be here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, for Movie Club, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. It's not the exact title, but I'll allow it. Then 2 weeks today, which will be the 7th of August, will be our next session like this, the Hangout Q&A thing. With what was the film again from you, AJ, for the 8th?
Something wild.
Yeah, from Demi. And then a few weeks after that, Q&A number 2 for August, and then Who Killed Captain Alex? Because that's what we need for the same day as I can't be bothered to... Uh-oh. Hold on. Tension mounting. I just got a message. Dun 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 dun. Oh, okay. I'll sort that out. Right, with that, quickly jump. Whoa! Fuck. Damn it. Damn it. That's why I should have read messages afterwards. Or looked on my tablet. Note to self for 2 weeks' time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for smelling. Thank you for smoking. Well, no, don't, not that one. Although that's a good film. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all John Goodman's log's got to say about that.